What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Press Box. I'm so glad to be back with y'all, man. This is officially traveling season. If you're in the middle of the summer and you're trying to find a little bit of way to take some vacation or to make some money moves, summertime is where to be. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Press Box. Shout out to PC. Shout out to D-Mac, Kenya. Shout out to Bama. Family, how we feeling today?
Feeling good.
Feeling good?
Feeling good. Can't complain. You're right. Absolutely. It's traveling season, making some vacations happen and stuff. But, feeling good, dog. It's funny. I was sitting back. I was like trying to plan my videos out for my personal channel and stuff. And I was like, this training camp. It's a lot closer than you realize. Hey, man, we about to have some people reporting. Yep. 2 weeks, man.
Bam, do you miss training camp ever?
55 days until Bama play, man.
Yeah, I'm with Bama on this. I'm more excited about college football starting than anything. I'm counting.
Who's your team, Kenya?
Huh?
Who's your team?
They suck, but I'm a Florida State fan.
Florida State?
Yep, Florida State.
I mean, that's a legacy program.
It is.
It's a legacy.
But
they beat Alabama last year.
Yeah,
They did. That was funny. That was a funny episode.
That didn't age well though, so.
Yeah, I think for me it's like D-Mac, I'm in a little bit of a bind, right? Because I work all the time in the regular season, NBA, NFL, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so you get to the summer and it's like I don't have the same night schedule because the games aren't there for anything, but I still work a lot during the day. But the problem is, when you work in my industry, everything you do is ad revenue. So you make large swaths of your money in the regular season, and then you get to the summer. So it's like, if you didn't have a good year, your summer ain't gonna be good. But you're gonna have a fun summer. And so, but there's a lot of work stuff. We'll be in, starting to talk about in New York next weekend. Doing some stuff, and then I was in Indianapolis this last week. I was in Denver 3 weeks before that, and then I'm gonna be out again after I get back from New York. Like, I feel like, man, well, the thing is, bro, I'm a terrible friend, Kenya, in the middle of the season because I don't make time for like people quite all that much because I'm constantly doing stuff. So I try to use my summers as like, hey, I still love you. I still know who you are. Like, let's go connect. Let's get together. I'll be in Texas, Bama. You want to come to Texas with me in August? We can make it work. Like,
ooh, okay.
Yeah. Like, how do you make that work? Of like, trying to work. Yeah. And then trying to like keep these relationships going. Goodness gracious!
Like, people like planning weddings and getting married during football season. Like, I'm not going. I can't help you with that.
Facts. Yeah,
there's nothing funnier than being like, "Hey, we're gonna have a nice fall wedding." Hey,
I know, right?
Relax. Relax.
One of my best friends is having a wedding in November here, and like,
that's the worst month.
But it's a Saturday.
That's the worst month to be having your wedding on a Saturday.
Yeah, but at least it's not like in the middle of football, like, you know what I mean? And we can still make it work and everything else like that. By the way,
it depends if you're a big college football fan or not. If not, sure. On Saturday we can make it work. Yeah.
Bama, would you be, if somebody asked you to be in a Saturday wedding, could you do it?
Alabama play LSU during November.
Exactly.
Can do it.
Exactly.
Not gonna be able to do it.
I ain't gonna be able to do it. I'm sorry. I love y'all. Y'all so beautiful.
Yeah. That's rivalry month. You can't miss November.
Would you be thinking about the game the whole time, Bama?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even be able to focus like on what's happening in front of you.
I'd be watching it. I'd be watching it on my phone. Like,
how often have you guys felt
put it in the bouquet?
How often? Because I know I'm a big college football fan, but I'm Mizzou, so it's like sometimes it's not as important, to be fair. But I've been in situations where things have happened, and I've been like, there's a Chiefs game going on, and be like, I'm trying not to think about this happening, but like I know that I'm also doing this. So how often have you guys found yourself in that situation where you're like, I can't see this game, but I hope it's going well?
JUCO, when we lost to Johnny Manziel, dog, I was so sick, bro. We had a away game too, and then my coaches knew like I really fuck with Bama tough. They was like, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry, you probably not gonna want to hear what just happened." I said, "What?
Your boys got rocked by that white boy over there."
Oh my gosh, bro! And I'm going back to see how they lost, bro. I'm just like, wow.
Oh, so you didn't get to watch it live? Oh, that sucks. Not like you probably didn't want to watch it live though, but still.
Nah, because I be feeling like they got like Goku. They got my energy when they down.
Do you live and die? Do you live and die by Bama like that? Like your emotions?
Sometimes.
It's like, yeah.
Now,
it's like, yes.
Now, not so much, but sometimes. I used to really be crazy about Bama. I grew up, realized it's just a game, just a team. Depending on if they got kids from my high school, they go there. That's why college is so more for me. It's just more like personal, you know what I mean? Some of the players, high school, things like that. But
D-Mac, are you like that with the Chiefs? Like if they lose or have a bad showing, does that affect your mood?
Weirdly, since they have won these championships, no. I think, and maybe it's a little bit of emotional maturity as well. When I was younger, I felt it more so. Like you're like, all right, well, it just sucks kind of seeing your team lose. And I think I lived and died by it a lot more. But now, since we won championships, it doesn't hurt as much because we've at least done
you already
that.
got 3 of them.
Yeah. So I've experienced that. But and then also kind of just growing up, you get less of it, I think, from that perspective.
Well, everything the Chiefs do is it's just adding on to we're already set historically.
I legitimately the going back to back for that to be the security of the dynasty is all right. Well, everything else after this is just going to feel like icing. But I will say, because I think this was during the 2022 season, so we hadn't won the second and third one yet. But I had to go out to. I didn't have to. I went out to Dubai and went to saw the F1 finale out in Abu Dhabi. And at some point during that, the Chiefs were playing on Sunday Night Football versus Chargers. I had no way to access what the fuck was going on in the game. So I woke up at I think it was maybe I woke up at 10 a.m. because we were out late the night before. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I went to check the score and I was like, oh, thank God we won. But I know at some point throughout the night, I was like, I don't know what's happening. And this is out of my control. And I feel nervous because of it. So that part, I guess, doesn't go away. But the living and dying has kind of faded a bit.
Yeah, I remember when we were doing I think Tim Tebow was that was 2011, so that would have been January 2011. When would that have been? The first round of the Steelers game.
It would have been January 2012, I think, technically.
That's right, January 2012. Yeah. So that was a Sunday. We were in Bama. I remember this it's like yesterday. We were in the football facility. We had just got done with Sunday, meetings, workouts, all that other stuff. We're in the facility, and I remember the TV was pulled up, and it was 60 of us that were still in the facility. We were watching the Tim Tebow Demaryius Thomas throw live together, and so I remember I would still, even in college, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would be really pissed when we lost because but I know what I put into the game, when we lost, so I was able to kind of sit with that. When the Broncos would lose, even as I was playing, I would be very visually upset about what was happening. So, yeah, there's just a different thing to team loyalty, man. That's why people that are, they fly across the country for their favorite player like LeBron and all that kind of stuff. They don't know what it means to
live and die with a team.
There's nothing like that.
And then I try not to fault player fans. Everybody gets on the store for a different reason, whatever purpose. But it's very different when you have to go through the struggles to then enjoy the successes, like I did for most of my Chiefs life, or I'm still going through with the Nets because I know one day, hopefully, I pray it will pay off for all of the shit.
You got Julius Randle now,
bro. Do you know how
that's not going to help it pay off? But
do you know how I feel? Let your linebackers get run through by Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, Kenny Irons. We gave up 12 sacks in one game versus them. We didn't beat Auburn for 7 years one time. I was alive for 7 years, bro. I don't think people understand. We went through 6 coaches in 4 years. We had like, bro, it was so crazy, bro. We was losing to Minnesota in the Music City Bowl. We had to run a fucking reverse with an offensive throwback to a tackle to beat Oklahoma State once upon a time, bro. I came from the fucking dungeon.
I was gonna say, Bama, do you like look down on the Saban era of Bama fans? Like y'all don't even know.
Yeah, I do. Like, I just be like, bro, y'all just hopped over here when Saban started winning, bro. Like, I guarantee you, bro. Like, y'all don't even know who the last.
Was that 2009 when that started?
2007.
No, that was
Mike Shula.
Yeah,
the only reason Mike Shula had that clout was because his daddy went 14-0. Never should have been in Alabama that long. He was the reason Tyrone Prothro broke his fucking leg in like 17 different places. He was up 31-0, 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Had no business having him in there. Throws the ball up, breaks his leg like origami, bro. Like, it was just the craziest thing ever, bro. Like, Mike Shula was just so horrible, bro. Like, the worst coach.
Have any idea what it's like to watch your quarterback, your Heisman contending quarterback, break his leg?
Who?
Jordan Travis breaks his leg, and then we win our conference solely based off our defense, and then we get snubbed from the playoffs. And we never, ever, ever got over that. That's why we are the place we are now, because we just emotionally, we're still holding on to that. That was the worst. That was the worst, 3 weeks of my life.
Yeah, I will say, that is, if we're doing college football, and I know this, I can prove this. Okay, this is true. 2014, when I was at Baylor, Bama. And you may feel different, but we would have if we would have made the college football playoff. Remember, they snubbed us for 5th, and we would have played, I think, Alabama in that first round. We would have walked that Alabama defense, because that Alabama defense was trash that year, Bama. You remember that? That was when they played. Who'd y'all play in the first round? That Ohio State or that Oregon? I can't remember who y'all played in the
Ohio
first
State.
round that year.
You said 2014.
Yeah, that was the first ever playoffs.
One.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That defense was trash. Ohio State was just on some bullshit.
No, they were, but remember Baylor, we were averaging 600 yards a game. We had an air rate. We ran the ball for 300 and threw the ball for 300. And Bryce was going crazy that year. We had the best receiver in football. We had the best running game in football. Like, our defense was like a top 10 blitz defense or whatever. I mean, I was ready. Yeah, that was the Zeke. When Zeke, and then that's when was it JT Barrett? What's his name?
Cardale Jones.
Cardale Jones.
Did Baylor get snubbed because of the conference championship thing?
Remember they beat TCU 62-58 or whatever the score was, 62-59, and then they lost that year to D-Mac, refresh my memory, bro, because this is so long ago. This is 12 years ago now. We lost to, I think we might have lost one game or something that year or something like that, maybe 2. Maybe 1. I can't remember exactly what the schedule was.
Well, it was a 1 loss. It was to West
Virginia.
At West Virginia. Yeah.
I remember that dumb game. Oh my gosh.
41-27. Was that the legend? Was this legend Kevin White? I think it was, right?
Oh my gosh, bro. West Virginia is the worst place to play D-Mac. I can't begin to explain to you. Their stadium is trash. Everything is right next to you. It was cold. That game was terrible. I remember that game was horrible. You just gave me a flashback.
I feel like Kevin White had a fucking game in this one too.
Nah, let me see. Let's see. West Virginia.
The box score of this game. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Kevin White was 8 for 132 with 2 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Kevin White was so nice. I thought Kevin White was going to be such a dog, bro. I thought he was going to be amazing.
Bro, Bryce was trash that game.
There's a few players that would have got me, boy. He was one of them.
I thought Kevin White was going to be good too.
I thought he was going to be a dog in the NFL.
But so remember, we lost. We didn't make the bowl that year. Then we lost to Michigan State. We were at 41-20 in Michigan State in the bowl. That was the Cotton Bowl that year. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then they lost because I remember our kicker with the freshman missed that kick. And this is a long story. And then we got like a face mask.
Kirk Cousins or Connor?
No, that was Kirk Cousins was with me. I played Kirk Cousins in 2011. Kirk was in the league in 2012.
Was it Connor?
Connor, what was it? Connor.
My mom's a Michigan State fan, so funny enough, I watched
that might have been Connor. Yeah, whatever Connor was. Yeah. But then Bama, the thing I'll never let go. In 2015, Seth Russell had 35 touchdowns in 6 games. Bama. 35 touchdowns in 6 games, and we were 6-0. D-Mac, that's crazy, ain't it? He was on his way to being a Heisman finalist that year.
I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, that's the height of the Big
2015 though, Swiper, you smoking dope because that Alabama defense.
No, we weren't gonna play Alabama that year.
Had like seven interception. He had 5 TDs to go.
No, but remember, we fell off because we lost Seth, and then we lost Chris, and then we lost we lost 3 quarterbacks. And then remember, we ran the Wildcat versus North Carolina in the Russell Athletic Bowl and ran for 600 yards and beat them in that game. We didn't have a quarterback left. So I'm saying that like those 2 years of me working in college athletics was some of the biggest L. That was the best time ever for Baylor. And I specifically remember, bro, like we got hoed in 2014 because of the Big 12. The Big 12 wasn't considered a premier conference or whatever at that point. And so they gave it to Ohio State, who ended up winning anyway. So yeah, shout out, man. College football is the most. I will say, college football, if you're tapped into it, is the most emotional, I think, sport that there is. But
I think there's such tradition. There is such regional, kind of just live and die by it. It's kind of like a bunch of diehard basketball or baseball fans, and the fact that it's very regional, but it also has it has the NFL model of the week to week live and die aspect to it. So. I've always admired that about college football. It's a very special sport because of both of those elements and everything that goes into it. Even though I've never considered myself to be a diehard, college football fan, there's never been a time in which I've been like, hey man, on a Saturday, I'm not watching because it's always fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, but has the NIL changed for you though? Y'all, especially you, Bama, like it's more of a businesses than it is like tradition. I mean, which is not a bad thing. I'm just saying that like it's different now.
50-50. It's still basically managing, how many plumbers and janitors and car salesmen you got, and how you can cover those up with your NFL talent. How many games can we chain together with these amount of plumbers? Or you get teams like Indiana, we go get 25-year-old plumbers and really whoop everybody. These boys are gonna be mad. They got to go to work after this year.
We went over that, right? The average age. Yeah, wasn't close to that.
Why you keep bringing that up?
I remember that exact episode. Bama was when they played Alabama. After that, and then,
yes.
Bama, live your truth, brother. Live your truth.
Yeah, well,
I remember Googling that. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound.
What's the average age of Indiana? Can you have to change it for you?
28. The average age.
I don't know. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed as much to me because I do still feel like the tradition is there. I think that you can nitpick a little bit at these guys, coming in, being at schools for 3 years, and that aspect of it is gone to a certain extent. I think that's fair, but I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough. It's kind of like it is not necessarily the same, but it's kind of like when you played the old NCAA football games on video games, and it's like, yeah, you may the number and the names may change, or like they put in generic stuff or whatever, but like it's still a tradition. It's still the sport that really carries things for me. As far as that's concerned. Now, I will say this: I don't think that they should expand the playoffs. That is something that I think that fundamentally does have a bad effect on the sport. I think that 12 is a fair number to land at. If you get beyond that, things start to get excessive, in my opinion. But that's my own personal viewpoint on it.
Yeah, I agree with the playoffs. I feel like NIL. Some guys are still true to like tradition and teams or whatever the case may be. I know if we get Mushroom Sales, it's not because we got the most NIL money. That boy right there is something special, and he got all the top dollars hollering at him. So if he come back to Bama, it's just because he from there. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes got, like they grew up Bama fans or whatever fans they choose to be. Not everybody just always go bag chase. Some players do. You get some players that go bag chase, but some players still stay true to that tradition. I like it. I think NFL is a little bit better just because they make more plays. But like I said, you got a 18-year-old future car salesman. You can't expect too much out of him. But man, that just be hurting my feelings.
But remember, Bama, when did you watch college basketball though?
Yeah.
Remember what's Boozer's brother named D-Mac? Caden Boozer, when that turnover he had when he threw the ball in the middle of the floor and then it led to the 3 and all that kind of stuff. Like I don't get mad about that stuff, bro. Like these are kids. Like
yeah, I mean that's what I've always enjoyed so much because like we watch NFL football. There's so much polish. There is so much game planning. There is precision that goes into it. College football is just the wild, wild west because at the end of the day, you got a whole bunch of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds just trying their best out there. And because they're so young, you get some absolute foolishness that happens. And it's very fun as a result of that chaos because you could turn on and, another tradition, Pac-12 After Dark, you could turn on a random freaking like just Washington versus Oregon State game in the middle of October at 2 a.m. and just see the wildest thing you could ever imagine because that's just the nature of college football.
And really the amount of rules that there aren't for is in college football, meaning you don't always, like in the NFL, you always got to have 6 guys on the line of scrimmage at all times. You can't stack receivers. But in college football, you can stack them all. Yeah, it's so much, bro. It's
just 3 yards instead of
the wild, wild west. Like you said, you can turn on Pac-10 After Dark, and you see this dude running some crazy spread offense, and it's just putting up points. And you like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, bro. I remember, and I can't share all the details, but Bama, I remember the year they started putting in, what did they call it before NIL, Bama? What did they used to what's the name they gave for the payments that they started sending out?
Stipends.
No, but it was me. We were the stipend era. But then right after that, it wasn't NIL, but it was like the additional amount of money they were able to allocate towards players. And essentially it ranged from what school you were at. And
they would, and they had like a so-called card or whatever. I can't remember.
But then it was like a $3,000 bonus. Right. But let me tell you this, D-Mac. Okay. This was illegal, by the way, but I'm just not going to say who it was. But I remember being in a meeting with at the time, how do I say this without, because that's a dead giveaway. One of the best sprinters in the world. I'll say it like that. Okay. I'll say it like that. Right. I was in the meeting with the track coach. Right. And some others. And they were talking to the players and they said, look, if you're not hitting your PRs and all this kind of stuff, even though, by the way, D-Mac, you're guaranteed. This money is guaranteed, by the way. This money was allocated for these players, and this is a five-star institution, Texas, all this other stuff. This is supposed to be your bread, but because there was a budget, the school was making up that difference, right? The school was making up that difference, so it wasn't NILs yet. It was the schools had allocated money. They blah blah blah. I remember them doing like, yeah, well, even though you're guaranteed this money, you ain't gonna get this money if you're not hitting your PRs and stuff like that. But I remember they name dropped somebody in particular, B-Mac, and they said, now, but he's getting all this money. This is not even a question. And I'm sitting there in the meeting, I'm like, damn, this is illegal as crap. How you gonna put a rule in NCAA and say this is what players are getting, but now you like, oh, nah, we ain't doing this. So, yeah, I mean, look, college is a mess, bro, because I got to tell y'all, too, a lot of these coaches are emotionally – and Bama, he gets upset about this because he feels like this is old school stuff. These are very emotionally immature people, dog. Like there's a difference.
Not ego involved.
Their ego is horrible though in college. It's worse than the NFL.
Yeah, it is.
It's just kids. Like we don't have the same power.
It's something about football. I not to cut you, but to me, even though I still like it. It's just something about football, and it still got like a plantation complex to it. Like if you watch, for instance, if you watch a basketball coach, like they white coach, I feel like he's been around black people a lot more. You know what I mean? Like how he talks, how he acts, how he dresses. White boy might have the Air Force Ones on. It's like, okay, white coach right here, cool, but he got flavor. It was like during the time when Flip Saunders was somebody was like at the Timberwolves. And then they went and showed the coach at Minnesota. And this dude had a southern accent in Minnesota, talking about some rowed a boat. I'm like, bro, first off, where the fuck did you get that southern accent? And why are you talking like this?
Was that like old boy when you went down to LSU, Bama?
Bro, it was crazy. Like, bro, what is going
here
on?
My
like,
family.
We're gonna row the boat. Like, bro, okay, massa. I get it. You're in charge. No one runs your team here. Okay, I'm sorry. It's the craziest thing. Like, I don't know what it is about football that attracts those type of coaches, but they fucking love football. Like they love coaching football. They love coaching them too. Like,
and the thing is, they coach so much, y'all. They don't have the personal development. Like a lot of them are so like uneducated outside of sports. Like, you know, so if we have a sideline conversation about anything, they'll be like, "What are you talking about? Who? You know?" Or they'll just like. So anyway, man, it's college sports is a grind, dog. I don't miss it. I mean, I really don't miss it, Bama. I don't miss I don't miss it at all.
Yeah, I guess because both of you guys, I never had this experience. I stopped playing tackle football my sophomore year of high school because we just moved on from it. I'm interested for you guys because anytime I was a baseball guy growing up, anytime we got to finally get into spring practices, I was always extremely excited. It felt like, you know, the start of spring for me. Do you guys feel the same way about the camp starting? Because I feel like it's a totally different experience.
Well, Bama had a different experience than me because you played JUCO. I'm sure that was worse than what I was dealing with. Like, to some degree.
So for me, I was more excited about spring because that was the time you really get to. Because I came in from JUCO, so that spring was me really earning my keeps at this next school. So I was excited about that. But once I got my spot and it rolled around to the summer, you don't really. Summer just takes up your whole day. And then we had a Marine as our coach, so Coach James believed in waking you up at 4:30 instead of 6:30 like everybody else.
400 hours, boy.
Like, bro, this is a crazy. Like, you have to have your toes on the line at 4:30. Y'all. Like, it's not like, oh, we wake up for practice at 4:30. Like, no, practice starts at 4:30.
But Bama, when you're in JUCO though, the rules, NCAA rules are different. Aren't they about like how many training camps you can have, practices,
all of that.
2
So
days?
it was a lot. It was a lot easier. But the second coach we got, he bought like structure to. At first, it was the inmates running the prison. My first year at JUCO, inmates. We had a fight at the end of the season and everything. It was fun though. That shit was lit. I'm not gonna lie. Inmates. Hey, the vibes was high. I'm not gonna lie. The vibes was high. But then, you know, Coach Hamilton came. He was like the stepdaddy that bought discipline, and like it was a rough transition. You know what I mean? Getting used to early outs. You know what I mean? You got to answer to somebody now. Run it how I want you to run it. It's like, oh, bro, like it was. I preferred the inmate way, but
the inmates running this.
I mean, but once we had some structure, it made sense because you move on to the next level, and there's way more structure. It's like, oh wow, I'm not. You see,
but Bama, but you play because you're a little bit younger than me, but like that's like what was that 2013?
Yeah.
So like, but DMAC, I was 2008 to 2012, dog. Like it was like that's bro, because you know concussions and stuff was a thing. Like we were testing for them, but it wasn't like what it became after that. I legit think Bama training camp every year. I probably got a concussion in training camp, and you know I would feel this like weight like in my head, and my head would be throbbing, DMAC. I'm talking about like horrifically, where I would step and like I would feel like I'm gonna throw up. But then because our coaches, we didn't have the same protections. We did, like if you tested for a concussion, that's one thing. But our coaches were also like, you know, you're soft as a linebacker if you don't finish practice. So literally, bro, like I would play through 9-on-7 sometimes with like this throbbing pain, like feeling like I'm about to throw up. And so then and bam, you know how reps go, like I'm not putting my head in the rep and they're like, you know, just like, bro, I can't do it. You know what I mean? And then somebody the other day, man, on Twitter, somebody put a thermometer down in the grass on the turf field. At 175 degrees under the grass. I'm like, yes. All it does is trap heat.
I'm not fucking around in the
Bro, I used to squirt water, Bama, on my cleats in between reps, dog.
Yeah, that's
like
torture. That shit is torture right there. Like I don't go to schools with turf, bro. Like that shit is I saw that turf. Some dude be darker than me. Get up straight pink from that turf. Straight pink, bro. Like, bro, that's tripping.
Because obviously the turf stuff is a major question point. I guess eventually we could transition to the NFL. But obviously a lot of these stadiums having switched over the turf to the grass and going to switch back to the turf due to the World Cup and stuff. But like, is it the scrapes? Is it the heat, or is it really just the wear and tear?
It depends on
the
the grade of the turf, though. If you have really bad turf, then what Bama's talking about, then you're gonna have like these lines. It's lines that just go up and down your arms, and so some people would stay. Now I had it, but like we had good turf, so it would go away at some point in time. But I also wore sleeves. I'm wearing sleeves, dog. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Just because of that, because especially in the heat, I would wear sleeves in the heat and I'll wear nothing in the cold. Just if that made sense in practice.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to deal with that. It just, whatever. I much prefer grass. But we'll get to NFL now. But D-man, college football. I mean, I have stories, bro. Like it's a horrific institution. Like respectfully. Like it's a horrific institution, dog. Mm-hmm. Yeah, horrific institution. But I have some agendas I want to push, obviously, about the NFL. And I have some DMAC questions I need to ask him because there was somebody in the D tackle that was ranked far too high. And I'm sure DMAC can probably agree with that. But y'all, we're going to start off with the running backs. And shout out to the press box, man. Shout out to y'all that enjoy that college football conversation we were having. The NFL every year releases all of its position rankings in the top 10. And NFL executives, coaches, and members of the front office will all vote based on the information they're being given on who the top 10 players at every position is. Jeremy Fowler is the one that is running these surveys. And so he started off on July 6th with the running backs. He had quarterbacks on July 7th, edge rushers on July 8th, defensive tackles on the 9th, tight ends on the 10th, offensive tackles on the 11th. And today, they're going to release the interior offensive line one. We'll see if we can get to that one as well. But I want to start off with the running backs. I thought this was actually a really interesting conversation. And before we get started, y'all, who do you think is currently the best running back in football that's playing right now, in y'all's estimation?
Derek Bartholomew Henry.
I got Bijan.
I'm Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
So I'll say mine first. I think Bijan, best combination of exceptional receiving talent, agility, ability to be strong throughout in between the tackles, excellent vision, and his agility in tight spaces, I think is special too. So when I just look at, hey, who's the most complete back in all aspects, Bijan is the guy that stands out the best to me.
Bama, why do you think is Henry?
I thought that just would be the unanimous king there. I think he's overtook for AP for as a generations type runner. I think, if it wasn't just like for play call and a few other, mishaps, he could have easily ran for 2,000 yards 3 years throughout his career. Ran for the 19 and he ran for 17 year before. I just think when you think of old school running backs, just hand the ball off, he'll carry you to pay dirt. That's just him. I get it. Some other guys, it might look aesthetically more pleasing. You might can do a little bit more with him. But if you just look at the production, the amount of yards he give you just running the ball, you could keep the other stuff with the other guys.
He's had his 3 best years of his career basically in the last, in his 30s, in 29, 30, 31. Is that not insane?
Attrition as hell. Like he's serious, bro. Like he's take care of his body. You always can remember he's gonna be locked in. I like Bijan too. I think, but my second, if it's just not Derrick Henry, my second running back would be Saquon right now. I just think just play call, a little extra off the field stuff is going on over there. I think they get away from that, get back to Saquon. That 2,000, if you ran for 2,000, it holds a lot of weight for me. Because it takes a special type of runner to get that. So I'll probably say between Derrick Henry and if I feel like it's just Derrick Henry, everybody else. So if we start on everybody else, I'm gonna say Saquon is the next running back up for me, just because that O-line he over there with kind of similar dynamic to what Derrick Henry in with a mobile.
Is he a lock for Hall of Fame?
Depends on if he can get to 10K.
Well, Derrick Henry's at 11, I think.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. Yeah, Derrick Henry's on pace, probably to finish with 13.
Well, 13. More. What's the?
Yeah, Henry is the yards. The numbers are going to be there. The numbers are just going to be there.
Derrick Henry is 10th currently all time right now.
Yeah, he's
by the end of this year, by the end of this season, I'm looking at it right now. Lord willing, right? he will probably pass Curtis Martin because Curtis Martin's at 14, 101. Derrick Henry's at 13, 18. So if he just has 1,000-yard season, if he has 1,000-yard season, y'all, he's going to be 5th all time in rushing.
I ain't realized
it's tough. I think that he's going to end up getting in. I think that he may be a little bit longer of a wait just because people are going to look at the accolades, which again, as we've talked about previously, this is something that the Hall does look at. It's like, hey, how many of these things have you put up there as far as pelts on the wall? And he does only have the one first team All Pro. I think he has the 3 second team All Pros, or maybe 2. He's got
and to be fair to Derrick too, and maybe this also helped him in longevity. Remember those first 2 years, he was splitting the carries with Dion Lewis. Is that who it was?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I think that the numbers are going to be there. He may have to wait a little bit to do the accolades, is what it is. But I think that he'll.
His height. I'm not making excuses, but his height had a lot to do with that. He had a slow 2 years of his college career. It's just learning how to run with the proper pad shelf. Because everybody else, his problem his rookie year, he was just getting jacked up. Like it was like you running too high for the NFL. And I think they had to work with him. Granted, he did get to play Jacksonville twice a year. I don't know what it was about Jacksonville, but I think playing them twice a year saved his career. You remember he was sitting behind Dion Lewis.
He loved playing in Jacksonville, bro.
99-yard runs every single
saved
year.
His career. Like we thought he was about to fall off. Like Swiper said, had that 99-yard run, and then
every year.
And obviously it's probably not true, but every single year there was a Thursday night game in which you would get to the third quarter and Derrick Henry would have 150 yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars, no matter what.
And they had good players. Remember, I remember he still fought with AJ Bouye and Miles Jack.
Miles Jack ran like 4.5, 4.4. He played running back too.
Yeah, I will say, man. I remember 2016 when this is when D-Mac got off his chief nonsense, right? When we were like, starting, nobody at quarterback, right? Oh, look, we beat the Broncos. Like, okay, they literally have D-Mac at QB. Like, that's when we took, what's his name from Memphis?
We beat y'all a few times with the guy that y'all traded a few first round picks for and gave a massive contract. Though.
Russell, but he beat y'all too. Wait, what's his name, bro?
You talking Osweiler or you talking
from Memphis? Paxton Lynch. And I remember I was like, but Derrick was coming out, went to the second round that year. I didn't understand why he fell to the second, but I think people were like, he's too slow, he's too big, blah, blah, blah. Bro, but then he went to the Titans those first 2 years, and it was just kind of like, I guess, like if people don't want to use him, then literally, bro, once he got started, and I gotta say this, the best thing Derrick Henry ever did for his career is going to play with Lamar Jackson. It is a guaranteed 5 yards a pop. And you also are get a free box every time you run a handoff now.
You one-on-one now?
Every time.
Just one-on-one every time.
Since he's been there, he has the most yards Derrick Henry ever ran for in his career was the 2,027-yard season and the 1,540-yard season, and then he had another 1,538 with the Titans. But since he's been with Lamar, he has 1,595 and 1921. Yeah, if Derrick Henry is healthy again, Lord willing, this year as he normally is, that's another 1,600 yard a year. If Lamar's healthy, it might be 17. What are you going to do about it?
That's the thing. Like I got some flack for saying this, but when you saw the last year or two of Tennessee, I thought that you saw that there was maybe a half a step loss for Derrick Henry, but the reality was the second that he went to the Ravens, I'm like, well, look, he's going to one of, if not the most friendly run game environments that you could possibly have, sharing backfield with Lamar Jackson. He's going to go out there and
history of the sport, by the way.
Yeah, like he's going to go out there and put those numbers back up, which obviously he has. I think that there are still very real things that you could poke holes at as far as the participation in the passing game. It's not to say he's a zero as far as that is concerned, but I think that there are some things that you really have to work around in that aspect. But he's still such a dynamic elite runner that it's he more than makes up for it still. But that's why I wouldn't personally have him over a guy like Bijan.
So getting to this list, y'all, so y'all can kind of see where everything is right now. So the NFL agrees with D-Mac. And D-Mac, they have Bijan Robinson as the best running back. NFL coaches, execs, and front office members. Bijan Robinson as the number 1 ranked running back in the NFL. Overall body work is undeniable. He led the NFL last year with 2,300 yards from scrimmage, breaking William Andrews' franchise record of 1983. Also joins Andrews and Julio Jones as the only Falcons to lead the NFL in scrimmage yard. By the way, the fact that Julio did that as a receiver is just ridiculous. By the way, was that an 1,800 yard year he had that year receiving? 19.
Something like that. Single-digit touchdowns, bro. They wasted.
Yeah.
They wasted Julio Jones, bro.
Yeah, they did not. The offense for him in the red zone was crap. He also had 820 yards on 79 catches last year, y'all. So it's just first off, the real question is for the fantasy football players, is he the number 1 overall draft pick next year in fantasy?
He would be for me.
Ooh, I don't know, bro. I'll probably say for me it'll be Todd Gurley.
No, he's saying
now, like going into this next season.
Going to this next season, bro. Deshaun McCoy, Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell.
No, Bama, who are you drafting in fantasy football for this upcoming
Y'all
season?
is not getting my sauce, bro. I'm getting OJ Simpson, okay? That's who I'm drafting with my first pick. All right. Don't worry about it. Who I'm getting.
I hate this man so much.
That's who I'm drafting.
Anyway, yes, for me, obviously.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
I thought Bama was having a stroke. I was like, what are you talking about?
He just had to take it back a step further so that I
I'm drafting Tim Riggins from Their Eyes Full Hearts.
Shout out Bijan. Now this one is not surprising, but this one was like, look how far he's come. Jahmyr Gibbs.
I don't hate it.
Number 2 ranked running back in the NFL, y'all. Now, to be fair, y'all, Jahmyr Gibbs had 20 touchdowns in 2024, 18 touchdowns last year, 39 touchdowns in the last 3 years while splitting time. He's averaging 225 carries per season, and he might be the fastest running back in the sport outside of Achane.
For me, with the splitting time, is that really splitting? You got 255 carries. It's not too many more carries you could get after that. When Derrick Henry ran for the 2000, he had 320. So I'm just like, what? 300. 300 is like around the max you giving a running back nowadays.
It's not a hard and fast threshold, but when you're talking about the difference in 350 touches versus 200, I think with 290 or something, I think Gibbs ended up having. There's something about crossing that threshold that does tend to wear down running backs as far as the next season. I think that's something that happened to Saquon for him having, I think it was 400 touches in that last season. And then this year, I think you saw a little bit of a lack of explosiveness. So I understand why people would have some question marks as far as Gibbs coming into this year about handling the entirety of the workload, first and foremost. But again, he's awesome. He had
320 last year. Where do you think his number is going to be this year for touches?
350 plus, I would say, is probably where it's going up. And look, I don't really have any question about his talent. It's just about, hey, just make sure you handle that workload, because he is the only person that I have seen since Jamal Charles that I would say the acceleration is at a unique level that is so special that I would put him up there with Jamal Charles, because the way in which he does accelerate is incredibly unique to NFL history as far as I'm concerned.
Who's their back at running back?
It is Mr. Isaiah Pacheco.
Facts. Shout out Isaiah Pacheco.
Which is why he may end up having 375 plus touches.
Number 3 was Saquon Barkley, y'all. Is he being underrated at this point, or is it just because of the year that he had, or do you feel like 3 is fair?
I think 3's fair. He's at 29, and it's just about, hey, did you have all these touches 2 years ago, and that's why you were a little bit less explosive last year, and given the fact the offensive infrastructure was worse, to Bama's point as well, or is it, hey, we're starting to get to the point where is the mountain going the other way rather than going up? So that's going to be the question mark about it. I think he's still exceptionally talented. So
I would have put Jonathan Taylor there. And then put four.
Yeah, talk about Jonathan Taylor, because you didn't talk about why he was.
I just well, in my opinion, he is pretty much the offense over there at the Colts. It's just him or nothing. We saw just how bad pretty much all of the quarterback plays that he's had, how bad it is without him on the field. The only problem with him is the fact that he's just been injured. He was injured those 2 years, so he hasn't consistently gone over 1,000 yards rushing every single season he's played. But like the 2021 season was insane, 1,800 yards. He's not the best he's not the best receiving back, but he's great in between the tackles, and I think his open field speed is ridiculous. So that's why I would have him at 3 over Saquon. I understand that Saquon, there was a lot of reasons as to why his production went down last year, so it wasn't just him. But we all watched that Colts offense fall off a cliff when Daniel Jones got hurt. A lot of people got hurt, and it was pretty much just Jonathan Taylor out there just being the workhorse that he's always been.
Yeah, he never should have fell the second round. That's another one of those running backs. I have no idea why he fell that far, because he was just way too good. He ran a 4.3, by the way, at like 230. So I just didn't understand that math coming out of Wisconsin. Shout out to him. A really good player. Saquon's at 3, but Jonathan Taylor didn't even make number 4, because number 4 is Christian McCaffrey, who made first team All-Pro, All-Purpose last year. And he only averaged 3.9 yards per carry, but they were 29th in rushing yards before contact last year. Like, he had this 3rd career season with 2,000 scrimmage yards, which is the 4th most by a running back in NFL history. Wow. But he had 413 touches as well. And so is the juice still there? Do we feel like for Christian McCaffrey?
I think this is a little bit of an overrated ranking for Christian McCaffrey, and I hate to say that, because I picked him to win it MVP last year, because he literally was the best receiving option and running option that the 49ers had. I just think Jonathan Taylor had the better overall season for a running back. So 4 is way too high.
I mean,
I think the juice is still there for the passing game. I think he still is every bit.
I think he should just go ahead and start transitioning to what his daddy was.
I won't say that, but I do think that the matchup nightmare. No, he can. I'm just saying.
And McCaffrey was an XZ, brother.
The matchup nightmare that he still is out of the backfield, I think, is where the real value is. However, because I think that there is still a real step backwards from the rushing aspect of it, he would be behind guys like Jonathan Taylor. And then I'm sure there's other running backs maybe that I'd put over it. But he's still one of the best running backs in the National Football League. I think that 4 is a bit high, though, still.
I mean, I would love him.
Running back, I don't know. Receiver, all right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
if he played like behind like a Broncos or Eagles offensive line, I think the numbers would still be there. I think last year they were very injured, and their quarterback situation went up and down as well. And then they didn't have any weapons outside of George Kittle, and George Kittle got hurt twice last year. So,
I mean, I will say that 49ers offensive line is also really overrated, with the exception of Trent Williams. I mean, that offensive line hasn't always been good, and he managed to have 2. Didn't he have during the Super Bowl run? Didn't he have 2,000 yards from scrimmage that season too?
He did.
Yeah. So I mean, and it was mostly because he was running behind Trent Williams. Like that right side of the offensive line is really bad. So if they're the 4th ranking is really based off of what he was dealing with. The same thing with Saquon. It's really based off of what he was dealing with. How old
is he? Like, what,
30?
30. I think he's 30.
He's 30 now. Yep.
I am happy that all these running backs are making it to 29, 30, and 32 and still being very productive.
They're still getting paid too.
Yeah, damn near $20 million, by the way, which is I would pay him personally. Number 5 is Kenya's guy, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
Highest ranking was 2. Lowest last year's ranking was 7. Some people didn't have him ranked at all. But 69 career rushing touchdowns, only behind Derrick Henry. And then obviously Taylor's 4 rushes of 40 more yards, only trailed Gibbs. And then Daniel Jones obviously helped him and everything. He got 46 passes last year. If we just did like a traditional running back, like who's the best? Is he like in the Nick Chubb category of like, this is just a high end 1, 2, 3 down running back? Like he's a more traditional running back than maybe Bijan and Gibbs and CMC, but he's like the best of the group. Him and Derrick Henry.
I think Yeah, he does slide a little bit more to the traditional running aspect of the position, but I think that he has been a little bit underrated from the pass catching because he's not necessarily the guy that's going to go out there and break linebackers off by running routes. But when you can get him out in the flat in any type of space, he takes advantage of that at a really high level. When you get him on some of these kind of check down routes, like he has the ability to do those sorts of things. And that's, I think, an aspect that didn't get highlighted enough in some previous regimes. I actually think that they did a really good job at using earlier in the season while Daniel Jones was still healthy and stuff. So I think that he still is a good catcher of the football out of the backfield. I would say he's better than Derrick Henry as far as that is concerned. And, he does skew a little bit more towards the running aspect of it, but he's an awesome runner of the football. And if you want to, I don't know if I would go so far as to say this because I think in his prime, Nick Chubb was the best runner of the football in the National Football League. But if you want to say he was the best pure runner of the football in the National Football League, I can understand the argument for sure.
Yeah, JT, shout out to Jonathan Taylor. He had 1,431 2 years ago. Had 1,567 scrimmage yards, but only played 14 games, started in 13 that year. Then this last year, he played the most games he's played since 2021. Had 1,585 rushing yards and 378 passing reception yards, and also had obviously 20 touchdowns as well. So, everything about JT's health. I mean, whenever he's healthy, he's a 1,400-yard rusher. And his rookie year, he had 1,100. Then he had those injured years with 11 games, 861 rushing yards, and then he had 10 games and 7 games started, 741 rushing yards. He's one of those other ones too that, like, when he is at his best, he is considered maybe the best running back in football. But I honestly have some injury concerns about him, obviously, even going into this next year. And in fantasy, as you know, JT has been the conundrum for a lot of people because a lot of people have taken him in the early second round or late first round, and they have come away with some, not so great draft luck from him. But hopefully, just have another healthy year from him. He's a really good player. 6 on this list, Derrick Henry, but his highest ranking was 5, lowest was 10. But I think some of this is Bama simply because of his age. He's 32 years old. He's by far the oldest running back that we've come across. Do you foresee him having another 1,500-yard a year, Bama? 1,700 maybe even?
I'll see why not. I think he even closes his career off with another 2,000-yard performance. I just think when it's all clicking, especially if Lamar comes back healthy, I could see it happening.
Henry had 17 runs of 20 or more yards, by the way, which is 4 more than any other player in the sport. He has 5 1,500-yard rushing seasons.
Nobody don't want to hit that shit. Especially in the fourth quarter when you tired, bro, and you still hear his big ass come around that edge breathing hard. It's like, man, I don't want to hit this shit, man.
That's it. You can't. It's always been the case with him. You can't let him get downhill. He's like the juggernaut of X-Men. You can't let him gain momentum downhill. You have to hit him in his hips at the line of scrimmage, and otherwise, then you're gonna be in trouble. Because once he gets going downhill, you run it up against DBs, it's not going to end well.
Yeah, he had 4.
As Josh Norman found out very.
That junk is funny, bro. Because
he did have 4 fumbles last year, but like he's never been a super fumble-prone player.
Well, he did. I don't know if he had a second one because I think I remember a discussion about it, but he did have the one that a lot of people feel like did cost him that early season game.
Oh yeah, that did cost him.
It did cost him that game. So
it cost him the Lions game too.
That's why I couldn't remember exactly if there was a second
one. Those are back-to-back games.
It's back-to-back games that he did have one that was a major turnover too. So.
All right. Well, somebody else that's making this list that I think made first team All-Pro last year, mind you, second team All-Pro, second team All-Pro, and it's a monster. It's James Cook. I think people finally came to respect James Cook last year. D-Mac, he is a terrific player, like a terrific player. He's one of 5 players to appear on every ballot. Led the league in rushing with 621 yards, and he also led the league in rushing yards over expected with 358. I don't think people quite realize just how good he is. He's a great balanced runner, and he is very fast. He is very fast.
You think he's better than his brother?
I wouldn't go that far, but he's good.
Dalvin was so good. Oh my god.
Dalvin was good. I'll say this. I think that
I mean, now, if you want to say now,
well, yeah, of course now. Yes. I don't. This isn't to take away from Josh, but I do think that the real thing was that he was the most consistent aspect of the offense last year.
Who, James Cook?
James.
that's not taking you. We don't do that.
I know. I'm just.
But James absolutely was the engine for them. I watched every game for them last year. Josh just was mid a lot of last season. James was great. That Jets run that he had, bro, like his contact balance is wild. If he gets hit and you don't square up on him, bro, he's gonna bounce and then he's getting to the house, bro. He is a home run hitter. I really like James Cook, y'all.
Yeah. Now their traditional run game was very good last year because their offensive line is very good, and certainly because he took another step after being really good the year previous. So definitely well earned to be here on the list.
And then y'all, next up is somebody that I did not have respect for as a 3-down rusher until this last year because I just didn't see him do it prior to this. Devon Achane. Like, I was shocked. Like, he's better than, and because I got a homeboy that's a huge Texas Tech fan or Texas A&M who's always like, oh man,
he was good at A&M.
Achane, blah blah blah, bro. 5.62 career yards per rush, and when I'm telling you, you throw him the ball, he's a receiver. He can run through the actual line of scrimmage, y'all. Like, and I wasn't a believer, but you give him the ball inside of the 5-man box, he is absolutely 100% a top level rusher. I mean, he's going to have a horrible year this year, D-Mac, because they don't have him on the roster. So it kind of sucks for me to say this now, but he's a really good, y'all. He's a very good running back.
He's very talented. And you know, the run game design with Mike, you know, being gone is going to suffer as a result of it, but it doesn't take away from his talent. I think that you could still have some question marks as far as top level workload in that aspect too. But boy, he's talented. He's really talented. The acceleration, top level speed.
You got to show me.
Understandable vision too.
No, I'm telling you again. I didn't believe
he's good in short areas though.
Until last year, yeah, he legitimately like can get off on you, bro. If you don't wrap him up, he's gone.
What shocked me was that how good of a receiving back he is. Because I watched him in college, and I was worried about him because I was like, I don't know if his game is going to translate to the NFL because he was the best offensive player to me in Texas A&M. I was not expecting him to be this good of a receiving back, and I sure as hell did not know he was this fast. I swear he got faster once he got to the NFL.
Yo, he had 1,350 rushing yards last year. 1,350 an average, 5.7 an attempt, and then he had 67 receptions last year as well. Like, if he didn't play on a trash team, we will be talking about like all pro with him potentially.
They're gonna need another running back though. They're gonna have to use him as a. Now
they do. They got Ollie Gordon.
Gibbs, I could kind of get with him being a solo back, but not Achane. Achane nice, but he one of them backs that you got to have a 1-2 punch for him. Ollie Gordon, all right, cool. We'll have to see.
I like him, man. But the next up is just a little high for me. D-Mac, your guy.
Way high.
Kenneth Walker.
Really? You guys think that's high?
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah, I mean, Breece Hall's behind him, brother. And Josh Jacobs didn't get mentioned. Kyron didn't get mentioned. You know, I mean, he's good. He is good. He did have 2 1,000-yard seasons, obviously, with Seattle. But you tell me, D-Mac, how do you feel about this ranking? Number 9 overall in the league.
I think it's a fair ranking. I'd have him in this range personally. I will say I think that Breece Hall is better. I was a little bit surprised to see that. So theoretically, I'd probably put him 10. Yeah, I'd probably have him 10. Kyron, I think, is good. I do not have him better than K9. That's just me personally. I think Kyron still has a little bit lesser limitations, especially in the explosive aspect of it. I think that Josh Jacobs actually took a real step back when I was watching that offense.
ESPN don't watch film, Donnie.
And I think Kenneth Walker is a better pass catcher than some of these guys that you're talking about too. When you talk about Jacobs, when you talk about Kyron,
man, I'm not gonna lie to you, D-Mac. I don't think people, not you. The fact that Genty didn't make this list is so much about how dysfunctional the Raiders are, as opposed to what Genty actually is. Like, I think this next year they have a much improved offensive line. They got maybe the best center in football behind Creed Humphrey, obviously now. I watch both, obviously, a lot of them. I think Kenneth is a really good football player. I'm fine with him being in the top 10. But there's definitely a gap, I think, between like we went to another level, step down from like Achan. I think the Kenneth Walker. I think Achan and them are better, and then you get to that Kenneth level. I think he's a really good player, if that makes sense.
It depends. I think it really depends on what you're asking your back to do.
If he run that ball how he did in the playoffs, though, shit, he top five.
That came out of nowhere. We did not see that during the regular season.
I did not see that.
But this is the thing. You have to, and this is I don't know. I was on mute. My bad. This is the thing about it for B as far as this is concerned. Like Achan, I think some of what Bam is pointing out as far as making sure you have a good second running back that you want to make sure those things can work off of, I think is part of it. I think the same thing kind of applies to Kenneth Walker. So I would have Breece Hall over him. I would have Kenneth Walker 10 as far as this list is concerned. But it's like, hey, can you continue to use the right rotation as far as that is concerned to make sure you get the best out of Kenneth Walker? I think that is a piece of it. And I think that there is a tier break I would put ahead of necessarily Devon Achane for me when you talk about the top 7 or 8 that I think was on this list. I think top 7 more so than that. But I think Kenneth Walker deserves to be on this list. I understand the Genty thing. I do agree. It was more so about the surroundings than necessarily his lack of talent, though I still have questions about Genty catching the ball in the backfield. The big thing for me, if y'all tell me which one of these guys that wasn't on the list, right now is going to make it next year, it's going to be Omarion Hampton. I think he's about to have a monster.
You and this Omarion thing.
I'm telling you,
you went up early.
What the Chargers have done for that offensive line, for that offensive infrastructure, and what Mike wants to do in the run game. And I'm not saying like Devon Achane is like a Mike product, but what you saw of how he was able to use Achane, I really do feel like Omarion Hampton is not necessarily the same talent type because they have their own strength and advantages, but I think it's similar talent level. I think that kid has everything that you want as far as a running back.
Yeah.
And I know what Mike is about to do with him.
Three-man race. I can see Omarion. I also see Travion getting in there. Like Travion's my one. I think he should get in there. I think
past fans would tell you Travion is mid, but Travion is a home run.
Yeah. Travion will probably be in there next year.
The thing about Travion is I don't know if the Patriots want him to be their lead running back. I think that they very much enjoy their rotation with Stevenson being the early down running back there.
Stevenson played well in the playoffs too.
He did. I thought he was fine during the regular season too. A lot of people wanted to see more Travion, and I like Henderson a lot. Like I really do think that he's very explosive, but I think that the combination of both those guys is the 1-2 punch that they want to stick with too.
I like Quinshon Judkins too, but he has such a bad leg injury. I don't know how that's gonna look.
He did get votes on this list.
And he was really good before the injury too. He was really good before the injury.
And by the way, the people that also got votes were DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, Chase Brown, Ashton Genty, Travion, Travis Achane Jr., and then Alvin Kamara. Travis and Kamara.
That Alvin Kamara vote is definitely a legacy vote.
But what about Bucky Irvin?
He got in. He didn't play this season, did he?
He missed.
No, he did, but he's a good player. But I don't think he's. I mean, maybe he's better than Alvin on this Chase Brown.
Yeah. Chase Brown, I think he should have been in there over Breece, in my opinion. But
Chase Brown?
Yeah.
Wow, that's bold.
No, Chase is good though. I do.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
He does get the tax because he's playing with the Bengals, and like number one, people don't typically like running backs with the Bengals, like unless you're Corey Dillon. And then Joe Mixon obviously had some whatever years.
You guys think that Mixon? Because I think Mixon Mixon, I should say, was a more talented back than Chase Brown.
No question. Yeah, Mixon was another second round pick for no reason, not Oklahoma. That didn't make any sense. I don't know what he's running for.
No, there's a reason why he fell though. It was
I
watched that video too. I saw the same thing.
But
Did she call him an N-word? Is that what happened?
I don't know about that, but she hit it. She physically pushed him. Like she put her hands on him. So I don't mind the retaliation, but what they see when they see the videos.
What year was that? Was that before
2014? It was after Ray Rice. It was after Ray Rice.
No, but who's the running back that broke Melvin Gordon's record right after that? Samaje Perine. So this would have had to be right before Samaje, D-Mac? Or after? When did Mixon get there?
The 25th? No, it's later than that.
I got my timeline mixed up because they were both there.
Gosh, what was it? I don't remember.
2017 was his.
Yeah, because it wasn't that long ago. He's not that old. I don't even think Joe Mixon.
So which one was older, Samaje or him?
Samaje is older. Samaje is older.
Okay.
Yes. Joe is only 29.
Now you want, yeah, but he has that foot injury or whatever. But apparently he said he's not. He said he's kind of fine.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That whole situation is weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's another dude that could have a great year this year, David Montgomery.
Oh yeah.
Because if it's just going to be him,
it's him and the other one. Who's the
Woody Marks?
Yeah, Woody Marks. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't bad.
I think that he'll have a good year, but I don't think it's going to be top 10 worthy from that perspective. But it'll be a significant upgrade of what they.
I tell you what, it's not going to happen because it's not going to happen because we know it's never happened. He never played more than 11 games. If he plays 15 games this year, Dobbins is going to have 1,500 yards. He was on pace for 1,500 last year. But he's not going to be healthy. Like
he's just not.
I'm not letting my mind go there, D-Mac. I'm not letting my mind settle in. But that's why they drafted Jonah Coleman, just in case. Yeah. Now they got three running backs now. Mm-hmm. So when they play Yo Bum Squad,
and unfortunately, RJ Harvey did not do what
RJ's a good player. He's a gadget back to a degree.
Yeah. But I'm saying that's why they went out and got Jonah Coleman. But I think
Jonah's good though. I did like Jonah.
I think he's good. I think he's good.
He's built like a Maurice Jones-Drew a little bit.
Yeah, just the bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
Bowling ball.
Built like Bama, actually. Yeah.
You're talking about some guys. You talk about some guys like Chase Brown, like Kyron Williams. I think that are good running backs, but you're more so talking about the circumstances in which they're operating in that I think are a little bit more of the reasons why that they have the production that they do. And it's not
is this Javonte thing real?
Well, I feel the same. I feel the same way about Javonte, but I think that Javonte is similar in the fact that he is a good running back. He was a talented running back. He obviously just had the injuries with you guys. Yeah. We finally get to see him healthy in it, and then also plus in a really good environment. Then you see what he can do.
Javonte with Dak Prescott now, he might have another one of these years, man.
He could. If he's healthy, 100%. 100% could. Because I mean, that the offensive infrastructure around him is great. And again, he's really talented. I was legitimately upset that we ended up going after Elijah Mitchell instead of him because I very much feel like when you talk about running back reclamation projects, you just go after the younger guy. If you think that he has the talent, go after the younger guy and see what happens. And obviously the Cowboys were able to.
People in the chat, RJ Harvey had 12 TDs last year and had like 900 all-purpose yards. He did his work. He did his job. He just wasn't supposed to be the number one because Dobbins went down and he took over. But now they have three running backs, so everything should be fine. So we'll see what happens. The next list I wanted to get to I want to hear directly from D-Mac on this. There's two lists. We're gonna get to the cornerback list. Okay. Okay. And I want to see what this casual D-Mac has to say. Because again, these are executives that work in the league that actually do the scouting and all that kind of stuff. Is who is the best player right now at each position, and obviously. Unanimously is the player that's on track for a Hall of Fame career already. It's Patrick Surtain, the second.
Yeah. I just want to see how somebody voted him at 5. I'd like to see how that was possible.
Yeah, what? Better than him.
It's probably a Patriots fan.
Ah.
Because be shocked.
The fact that he made second team All Pro this last year, I thought was despicable. I know he missed 3 games last year, but despicable.
Yeah, I mean it's injury thing.
Despicable. No, despicable.
I'm not saying that it was right. I'm just saying
was phenomenal.
The injury tax.
But brother, he is on I don't know how many more years he needs, D-Mac.
No, Hall of Fame base. Yeah.
Is he? I don't know when he's a lock. He might be 2 more years. He's a lock.
Yeah, I mean he's already got. Whenever you're a non. And it is obviously very, very unlikely. But whenever you're a non-edge rusher and you've already got a defensive player of the year in your bag,
on your rookie deal,
I mean that track is incredible. He's got the multiple first team All Pros. He's got the second team, as you mentioned, this past year. I mean, it's you give me 2 more years, he's a lock. As far as it's rare, D-Mac and Kenya and Bama, where you get he is the full definition of a true lockdown corner. In every sense of the word, and he tackles. Yep.
I mean, shout out to his father, because you know how this works, y'all. You can have kids that are super talented, but his father got him right. He does not make mistakes. He is the ultimate technician. And I said on Twitter the other day, D-Mac, I would put his film against anybody else in NFL history from a corner standpoint. I'm talking about just his technique. He's damn near perfect, and that's why people love him so much. And he's 6'2", he's tall, and he's 205 pounds.
He's tall, lanky. He's got ball skills. I mean,
and Bama saw maybe for anybody, because now we knew who he was coming out of high school, Bama, but obviously you got a chance to watch him in Alabama. Yeah, he's a monster dog. He's a monster. Yeah, shout out to Pat PS2. He was great in the AFC Championship as well. If they had a quarterback, then whatever. Number 2 on this list, y'all. This is a playmaker vote for me, Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a dude that is like, he's going to get beat, but he is going to make way more plays than he gets beat on. Mm-hmm. I love Derek Stingley, y'all.
I think that this is the reason why I have Stingley at number 2 for me personally. It's like, hey, with all due respect, all of these guys can be had. And you talk about Christian Gonzalez, obviously Trey McDuffie, Quinton Mitchell, all these guys below the Patrick Surtain second, who I think is on a tier of his own. When you're talking about the ability to change the face of a game, nobody does that at the cornerback position better than Derek Stingley Jr. And that's why I have him as the number 2. You can nitpick a little bit at the technique aspect of it compared to some of the guys that we're talking about on the second tier. I completely understand it, but he's plenty physical, has no problem tackling, is a guy that understands his recovery speed is special, and the ball skills are the thing that sets him apart for me personally.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, too, and Bama, you're obviously in the high school and Kenya as well. There's a track record now of these SEC prodigies at corner turning out. Patrick Peterson was the same way going in LSU. Like, it was very clear he was going to be, like, the best corner in football, and then he was the best corner in the NFL and college. And then, obviously, you got Tyrann Mathieu, another one, prodigy out of high school, and then elite in college, elite in the NFL. Patrick Surtain, prodigy, elite in high school, elite in college, elite in the NFL. Derek Stingley, day 1 at LSU, was like, this is the best corner in football.
Bama hate.
Who do you don't think so, Bama?
We're gonna have this conversation.
Because, okay, don't get me wrong. I used to hear all the talk about him, but dog, Devontae used to fuck him up so bad. I used to be like, bro, what do people see in this dude? Like, dog, like, I'm like, there's no way that y'all still this high on Stingley after watching that game versus Devontae Smith. Like,
correct me if I'm wrong. Devontae was a year ahead of him, or 2 years.
I think it was just a year.
Just
because they played twice.
I think the only thing that I would say is, and this is the only thing, when I watched it, I was like, all right,
was that his freshman year?
Like, he was 24.
Yeah,
his freshman year.
Freshman year.
And I interrupt, but like Stingley was also a baby, so like
that's what I was watching. I'm like, Devontae has a different level of understanding of the wide receiver position right now than I think Stingley does, and I think that's what my takeaway was watching those games personally.
But see, like when you had put Patrick Surtain on Chase the year before, like you saw like what Patrick Surtain could be, even though Surtain was like a sophomore.
Surtain got beat by CeeDee Lamb too.
Where they were the same class though, right?
Nah, they was. No, you actually right.
Yeah, they're the same class, and that's why I think that it does matter for these things. But I think to Swiper's point, when you have these DBs, because DB used to be such you're a wide receiver that couldn't catch.
But see, I'm going to get back off tradition. When Pat P first hit LSU, he was the real deal. Yeah. Like, even though him and Julio, like, it was a back and forth, and Pat Surtain used to make plays. If you want to go to Mo Claiborne, then you move on to Mo Claiborne. Like, he was scary, bro. Like, you didn't really want to throw over there. Like, those dudes made you not
about Mo Claiborne
over there, bro. Like, it was dangerous, bro. Like, they was real shut down LSU.
My boy scored 10 points on the
Stingley. It was just like everybody just telling me about this athleticism. I just gotta believe it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, bro, she bad. I swear, bro. Yeah, she know how to cook, bro. She just ain't cooked yet. But she know, bro. I promise, bro. Like, she go, bro. I'm telling you, bro. You go, bro. You go love her, bro. Like, I'm like, I mean, if all y'all saying this, cool. But I'm just saying.
But he's like that though. Now he was like that at LSU too. What was he? The 5th pick in the draft?
Mm-hmm.
He was.
I think Bama has a little bit of a color because obviously we got introduced to Stingley on the 2019 team. That's one of the best in college football history, and I think that some of that probably hype for Bama was like, hey, but I just saw Devontae Smith do this dude dirty. So like, what are we doing here? So I think that some of it kind of is coloring that aspect of it. But I think by the time we get to his sophomore junior year of LSU, was like, all right, we see what this guy is, and that's why.
Yeah, I was all in on Stingley.
Like for instance, I don't think Devontae Smith tapping Mo Claiborne for 230. Like 230 is a lot to get tapped for, bro. Like I don't think he tapped.
Well, guess what? Mo Claiborne was giving that up in the league, so that's the difference.
I get it, bro. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about. I'm just being honest. Coming out of college,
but it is important to remember though. Claiborne was not playing as a true freshman as the starter, so like there's an aspect of he was able to kind of get his feet wet. He was
18 years old.
And then as a sophomore and junior was able to kind of put up those types of tape too. So I think it's
but again, we all are in agreement. The best DB at LSU wasn't him. It wasn't Pat. It was Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu.
I'm never letting nobody lie to me. He was the best I've ever seen. He might be the best DB I've ever seen in college football. Like legitimately. And if he didn't, man, it was this.
Yeah, it
dropped
was
to the third round for some weed.
He was tough, bro.
Dropped to the third round for some weed, D-Mac, weed, marijuana.
I don't think y'all boys really remember Mo Claiborne, though.
No, I do, but he wasn't. Nobody was touching.
No, he was amazing, but nobody was.
Nobody was touching Tyrann. Dog.
You really didn't look over that way at Mo Claiborne. I think that's what it was. Like you just didn't try Mo Claiborne, so we really just didn't get there.
No, he was great at LSU.
Remember, see Tyrann Mathieu. He used to play that safety corner. He used to play all over the field.
Yeah.
And he played punt return.
But he was a lockdown corner, lockdown nickel, elite tackler,
he was all returner. Over. He made defense look fun.
Elite playmaker. Everywhere. He has the best highlight tape in college football. The ball so hard to this day. It got taken down, D-Mac, off of YouTube. It got re-put up by somebody else. If you haven't seen it, the ball so hard, Tyrann Mathieu college highlight tape is the best tape ever. Literally, it's the best tape ever. You'll never see anything like it. I'm telling y'all right now, turn the show off. Go watch Ball So Hard, Tyrann Mathieu. It is the best college football tape of all time. Bama, right. I used to watch that junk before my game. Let me just get some of that in my sauce.
Okay, I'm looking it up now. I'm gonna watch it.
I just need a little bit of it, Bama. I just need he was the best playmaker I've ever seen.
He was awesome. He was so awesome. I understand your my bad. He was awesome. I understand your point, Bama. I think that there's a difference of what you're talking about with DBs is the shutdown guy versus the guy that's all over the place making those plays. It's just I've never seen a defensive player, and obviously I'm on the younger side, so it's not like I can go back and talk about Deion Sanders or anything like that. But I've never seen a defensive player or a non-front seven defensive player just affect the game in so many different ways the way that Tyrann did. It felt like every single game you saw him make 3 splash plays that were.
No, yeah, he did though. He used to hunt that ball.
Can you turn it on? Turn it on your TV right now. Ball so hard. Ball so hard. It got taken off in Alabama. It got taken down for some reason, and then somebody like screen recorded and put it back up. We don't even have the original anymore. I'm trying to. I can't.
Well, I can't know if this is the right one.
It's the Tavon Austin of defensive highlight film from college football.
Tavon Austin was cold. Pat White had a crazy one too, Bama. Pat White had a crazy one.
Pat White was.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's on here anymore.
What? No, it is.
The best highlight tape I seen with music though.
I got it.
Was
that's the one that I seen.
With,
I'll send it to you.
I need a slow motion video right now. If y'all ain't never seen Emmanuel Augustus box, bro, it might be the most intriguing thing you ever see. Like it's crazy. Like
who else had a crazy highlight tape, y'all, out of college?
Noel Devine,
bro. Oh my gosh. West Virginia had him, Bama. They had him. West Virginia had him, bro.
I can't take up the song. But
you can't play it.
Owen Smith, the first play they show you him banging his head and he just running through shit. Like that was just ridiculous.
Mike Vick had a crazy one, yeah, but that's like the lore. The lore college football highlight tapes was like what's that linebacker that was like 195 that went to Auburn, Bama? Justin Blackman. No, not Justin Blackman. Bro, he was snapping people's heads back, by the way, in high school. Like, best high school football player I've ever seen. Like, Shout out.
Reuben Foster got
Reuben Foster at one too, bro. His kickoff highlight tape was crazy. That's it. Just
he really be hitting.
Just the kickoff one.
That boy really be hitting. That boy hit old school.
Yeah, that's why he's out of the league. He couldn't keep playing in the NFL no more. Next up, Christian Gonzalez. People, how do you feel about Christian Gonzalez, y'all?
I like Gonzo.
I'm fine with this ranking.
Yeah,
I think it's depends on what you want. If you're running a Vic Fangio scheme, which obviously this is going to be easy to say just because he's in this scheme, I understand why you would be like, hey, I prefer Quinyon Mitchell for what he can bring to the table. But Christian Gonzalez, the man-to-man technique is incredibly high level, and so I'm not mad at this ranking at all. I think that he's really good. He's awesome, and he's obviously still getting better too. And I think that he has some room to add some strength on top of it too, as far as his frame is concerned.
What is Gonzo, about 6'2", 6'3"?
6'1".
Mm-hmm. He's lanky too.
You know who's tall as crap in real life was Stephon Gilmore. I did not realize he was like 6'3".
Gilly is, yeah. Gilly's tall.
That's scary. A corner that's that fast, that's that tall. Yeah, those are your freaks.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 on this list, I think well deserved. Witherspoon.
Spoon.
Great player.
So McDuffie got to be 5.
Yeah, and McDuffie's 5. But I feel like McDuffie's been 5 for most people for like the last 3 years.
Me, myself, personally, I would have had McDuffie 4 and had Ward 5 and then Witherspoon 6. I think Ward is really slept on, though.
Yeah, Ward is cold.
I agree. Yeah.
How you feel about this McDuffie ranking, D-Mac?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think honestly we did him a disservice. He should have been our nickel for the majority of the last season. I don't know how much the Rams are going to use him there. Depends on how they want to kind of orient their defense.
I know what they better do when they see the Broncos in week 2. They need to keep McDuffie away from Sutton because Sutton loves seeing him McDuffie.
They'll do the other thing is they'll put a safety over top of Watson and have McDuffie on Waddle. But I think that what McDuffie does bring to the table is excellent versatility. Defending the run at an extremely high level. The zone eyes that he plays with as well is special. And the technique is there. There are just going to be certain matchups, A.J. Brown, the Courtland Suttons of the world, in which, hey, this guy's just going to be able to dunk on you, and that is a reality, and that's something you have to protect against. But I mean, he's so great. He's so awesome. We would not have won the last 2 Super Bowls without him because of how awesome he is. So glad he gets to go to the Rams, and I'm sure that they'll put him in probably a better.
Is he the best slot last year? Who since Chris Harris? Who's the best? Is he the best slot receiver we had in the league? I know that. What's the name with the Colts had a run too, bro?
Yeah, Kenny had a run, but I think McDuffie takes it to a different level because I think he's a better run defender than those guys as well. When you're talking about specifically slot corners, because in today's game, you have to, if you're going to play the nickel, you got to be able to defend the run at a high level. In addition to be able to play these different body types of tight end and wide receivers, he has the ability to do that at such a high level. And I don't think if you want to,
I don't think people know how cerebral Trent McDuffie is and his approach to the game. Like, dog, he is so professional when it comes to the way he approaches the game, the way his outlook is, just the way he learns, just combo coverage to put himself in the best situation. Because he really 5'10", 5'9". He's not the biggest dude out there.
He's 5'11" listed.
He makes up for it just for how he just put himself in the position to eliminate a lot of shit out there. I mean, I'm not mad at him being in the top 5. Like I said, I would have had him at 4. But yeah, McDuffie.
So I'll say for me, tough. I think Devin Witherspoon is a really excellent corner. I would personally have had Quinyon Mitchell at 4, McDuffie at 5, and Witherspoon further down the list. That's how
Quinyon. How do I say this respectfully? Because Quinyon's 6, right?
Comes at 6, yeah.
Quinyon, he's really good. He also like a little industry plant. If that makes sense. He plays for the Eagles.
He does.
No, I'm being serious because he made first team All Pro last year. I'm also just kind of like, I mean,
I kind of feel the same way about Sauce though. Sauce kind of feels that way too.
I think Quinyon's good, but the way he does get talked about like a first team All Pro in year 2 is kind of crazy. Quinyon is not that kind of corner, not to me. I think he's really good, but I don't think he's.
I think they like Quinyon because he around the ball a lot. He finds the ball a lot though.
Yeah,
And I think that's very valuable in today's NFL, especially when they passing the ball all over the field.
He doesn't even have an interception in his career. Like he's a really good player, but it's also like, yeah, I don't know. Quinion's good, like he is, but like if you told me on this list, so just to get through this, Denzel Ward's number 7. I think Denzel is just in with the Browns.
Yeah, I think he's underrated.
He like that, bro. He like that, bro. Like
man to man, he's one of the best that we've had in the 2020s.
Yeah, then, I don't have any issues with that. I think that he's continued to be underrated because he's on the Browns. I think the man-to-man technique is up there. You maybe want to pick a nit at some of the physicality, but I still think he's got plenty of it. I think he's awesome.
And then we got J.C. Horn, another dude. I think it's. By the way, if I had to do this list, just me personally, PS2, Derek Stingley, Christian Gonzalez, I'm perfectly fine with. Trent McDuffie or whoever right here with Witherspoon, I'm fine. I'm probably y'all putting J.C. Horn 5 or 6. I think he's also phenomenal, and it's only him. D-Mac.
Well, no. Mike, you got to say, Mike Jackson.
No, Mike Jackson's really good.
I was gonna say he had a hell of a year for Carolina. But Horn was finally healthy, finally able to put it together for a full season, and you saw exactly why he was picked as high.
And I've been watching Horn in person since Alpharetta High School. Like he is 6'2", every bit of it.
Yeah, he's physical.
And he's strong. I don't think people realize. If you see JC, he is long and strong, dog. Like he is an actual one. And I think like if he played outside of the Panthers, I think he would just be considered a different player. And I think that's very similar to Denzel Ward. And I think if you go ahead.
I was gonna say this upcoming season, what the Panthers have done to add to their pass rush, getting a guy like Jalen Phillips. Obviously, they've added Trickshaw Warden, got Derek Brown there. They added some young. What'd you say?
I think they added Lee Hunter from the draft. Somebody else.
They added what's the name middle linebacker too.
Yeah, they got Prince Umalair from Ole Miss as well. They got some young edge rushers. So I think that
from the
that front seven being better is now going to put a spotlight on how great that defensive back tandem is. And then people are going to watch some games versus Carolina Panthers defense and be like, oh, shit, this is tough. This is very difficult to go up against. And I think that's just something that's going to have to catch up in a year. But he was finally healthy. I hope he does stay healthy so they can continue to put that out there.
I mean, Trevon Moehrig is also good too. Like, Nick Scott is good.
Mm-hmm. I like the Scott signing for them.
JC and Derek Brown are there too. Like, you know, these are our top levels. You know, Again, I don't know. Like I said, I'm D-Mac. I don't know how you watch football and say he's the eighth best corner in football. You know,
I think it does, and I'm not saying that he would be eighth for me, but I think it does speak to the fact that the cornerback position is very good at right now. Like you look at some of these other lists, and we'll go through it. Some of these lists are kind of gets kind of shaky, but the corner's got some really, really high level talent.
Yeah,
I would say right now.
And then number 9 is Sauce Gardner.
Sauce higher too.
Sauce is really good.
I think that injury kind of.
I mean, I thought that when they traded for him, and look, we can argue about the compensation given up all day, but it's like, hey, I know why Lou went out and got him because they know what they could do with Sauce, and so that didn't surprise me at all. And he's a really good corner, man. He's just really good.
Yeah, the NFL exec that spoke on him said Sauce lost to Sauce.
No.
Yeah. He got traded for a reason.
He just wanted to get that bar off.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
Yeah, weird.
And then Cooper DeJean, again, industry plants. Like Cooper DeJean said.
I do not think Cooper DeJean is an industry.
So you're telling me? So yeah, Joey Porter, by the way, didn't make the list. AJ Terrell didn't make the list. Jalen Johnson, former All-Pro, didn't make the list.
Kamari
Lassiter didn't make the list.
Amazing.
That's what I'm saying. If you play for the Eagles, boost.
I was good. I think that this is the issue with doing the list this way because Cooper DeJean in Fangio's system plays the nickel, plays the safety position. So where do you necessarily have him as far as these lists are concerned? Do you lift him at corner? Do you lift him at safety? Do you create another position, etc.? I think that's the reason why he ultimately gets on this list because what he brings to the table value-wise is worthy of being on a top 10 list.
Not for Joey, but Joey Porter is.
Well, I'm just saying, as a pure corner, you're taking Joey Porter Jr. You're taking Kamari Lassiter. You're taking a healthy Jalen Johnson over him. But because of the value, it's like, well, he's got to be on one of these lists. So maybe he should have been safety from that perspective because he is an excellent nickel, because he's really good at the safety position. You know, he he just shouldn't be necessarily.
I'm just trying to figure out why they so low on Kamara because everybody love Witherspoon because he hit. But if y'all ain't watched Kamara last of the play, bro, he fucking hit too. Like, dog, man.
No, I love Kamara. He would probably make my list because I just wouldn't have Cooper necessarily.
Look at this Eagles fan. Read this.
I would have more sauce.
Look at this Eagles fan.
I'm not mad at that.
That's not what we're saying.
Kamara
Everybody thinks they're an elite team, but they also got
mid quarterback play.
I just don't get it because we're gonna get to the D tackle list.
Well, yes. I will have an issue with the D tackle.
Like we're gonna do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, well then why? Then tell me. Let's just go to it. All right. Next up at edge rusher. I'm trying to go in order because we'll do this. We'll finish this next Sunday too because we'll have more stuff coming out. This is obvious. Edge rusher's up next. Everybody knows Myles Garrett, glazed all get up.
Don't even say it. He should be number one.
Super glazed. Lather it up, Bama. Lather it up. All the glaze is worthwhile.
Lather it up. It's crazy.
Yeah. 23 sacks. Like, what do you want us to say? And he plays for the Rams now. By the way, Aaron Donald, is
Aaron Donald going to come back.
Area Donald is currently training at the facility, by the way, just so people know.
I don't want to see that.
What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
I'm telling you, bro, they're gonna lose to the Cowboys, bro. They're doing too much, bro.
With Aaron Donald?
Yes, bro. They doing too much, bro. This is gonna be like that time. This is gonna be like that time when the
Eagles,
when the KD Warriors had added DeMarcus Cousins. That's why the basketball guys didn't let that shit happen. They was like, nah, bro. Like this is what y'all not finna do. The basketball guys said no.
Watson.
They said no.
And then you added AD and Miles. Yeah.
Good fucking luck, bro. Good.
You said somebody said I'm not worried about Aaron off the couch.
Shit. Next to Miles.
Hey, have you seen that man? He's not less of an athlete. And guess what? They ain't got to play him 70% of the snaps because they got Fist. They got the other, I forgot the other D tackle that they have. Puna Ford or was it somebody? Yeah. And they can move Byron. Anyway, the point is they don't have to play him 80% of the snaps. They can use him in the rotation.
AD ain't
Byron
been on the couch
there
since he's been on the couch. Like
he
just been at home. He just been at home. But he's still been working out, training Jared Verse, some other like younger deep tackles in the league. Like it ain't like he just been chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like going on vacation. Like nah, he been working out.
I'm not gonna lie. If your offensive line, I'm cool. I feel fine because we got 2 All-Pros in our offensive line.
I feel fine too, but still, like shit. That's concerning. That's concerning. You can't lie.
And I think the NFC West is playing the AFC West this year, so like,
yeah,
we all now well. To be fair, all 4 of the AFC West teams should have good offensive lines this year. They should if they're healthy.
I think you can still
your team though that right tackle situation. Hey Garrett,
everybody, you can
slide over there.
Other things.
Hey, let's slide over there. Go say hi.
Slide to Jalen Moore's side, but Sorry, we got Gold Jacket at left tackle. We got
you don't.
Great, yeah, we do. That boy Josh
year 2 player.
Hey, I can't remember.
That boy we left.
The Rams run a 3-man or 4-man front.
3-man, but they're multiple. Yeah, they're multiple though.
That's gonna be horrible.
So they get to some 4s.
Those 4 quarters is gonna be insane, dog. All this for Matthew Stafford to turn back into a pumpkin, by the way. All right. Next up on this list, edge rushers, top 10 edge rushers as voted by league execs. Micah Parsons, number 2.
We'll go to number 3. Go to number 3.
So number 3 after that is Will Anderson.
I would have put Will Anderson over Micah.
How do y'all feel about Micah Will Anderson right here? 2-3.
I can see the argument either way. I've obviously been effusive in my Will Anderson Jr. praise.
Yeah, too much glaze.
I don't think it's
I think Will has a crazy motor. For me, I see Michael get to that quarterback though. Will don't really get to that quarterback yet.
Not Josh Allen. He's fighting against Josh Allen.
Not how you.
I think if like what this comes down to for me is if you want a traditional hand in the dirt defensive end, Will Anderson Jr. is a guy. If you want a guy that you could be multiple with, move around.
Dog, they had him playing D tackle
and
they had
all types
Parsons
of
playing D tackle.
If
he
you want
is
to wreak
huge.
havoc, if you want to wreak havoc for guys because of Micah's strength, you can absolutely do it and just send him running.
Damn it, he got black elbow pads on that make him look even swoller than what he is, dog. He is massive and he's fast.
This is about the style of me for both of these guys because I love both of them. I think they're both legitimately awesome. So
Will Anderson just gets glazed because he's LeBron James' love child. That's all. That's what most of this is. He's a great player, though. Shout out to Will Anderson, man. Great, phenomenal player.
I still think it's one other Bama pass rusher that might be better than him, bro.
Who?
Dallas Turner.
Shout out to Dallas Turner.
Yeah, shout out to Dallas Turner. He turned himself into a nice pass rusher last year. But
Max Crosby is at 4.
He got so much talent, bro. It's raw talent too.
Might be a little too high. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
If you told me Max Crosby was 2 on this list, I also wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't either.
I just think I would put
Where D-Mac, we live in AFC West. Where did he come from? Because remember, he was like good, and then he became like elite out of nowhere. It felt like
Eastern Michigan,
and he's a workhorse. He's going to be out there every single down.
It was. He was undersized. So what happened was he was undersized when he first got there. He was just skinny with a long neck, and then they put the weight on him, and that's when
he got tattoos out the yazoo.
Yeah, exactly. And then he got the tattoos, and then it was just, oh man.
But man, when he first started getting tattoos, though, I was like, hey, this is who is this white boy out here just tatting his body down? Because he was good, but he was like a rotation. Like,
he had that
player.
motor. That motor is what stood off. He was just relentless. He like one of them type that leg falling off. He's still trying to rush the passer.
Yeah, I like me some Max Crosby. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like,
he play hard.
Absolutely. Shout out to Max.
He has a JJ Watt level in like an engine though. Like it's he just doesn't have the same physical tools, but like
it's special though. It's special.
Long arms, all the stuff you're looking for. Red beard. He's a redhead, by the way, which again is just further. He's a weird dude in a great way. Like
in a good way, yeah, for sure.
Redheaded, fully sleeved with black civil rights figures on his body. You know,
as AFC West rivals, I think that we all kind of treat the Raiders as the redheaded stepchild of the division. But nobody disrespects Max Crosby as far as the Bucs AFC.
Yeah, great player. Only one of us disrespects Genty as well, but you know, that'll clean up. Aiden Hutchinson, great player.
Too high.
I was a little surprised it was this high. A little surprised.
He tough though.
He
is.
Had the seasons like the guys above him, even the guy below him. He hasn't had the season Daniel Hunter had, not TJ Watt, not even Nick Bosa yet.
He had a good season, and he got hurt.
Yeah, he got that helicopter.
He was on his way until he got hurt, and then he just came back from injury. He was solid last year. I think he played last year. He was solid, but he just, I don't know. He just
came off of a broken leg too, to be fair.
Yeah, so.
He had last season 63 pressures, which is second, which we're gonna get to in a second because I want to know how you're gonna lead the NFL in pressures and be like 8th or 9th. Hutchinson, 63 pressures, third in quarterback hits, tied and second for forced fumbles, and had 14.5 sacks. Like that's an elite season, you know.
8 or 9. I was gonna say 6 or 7, but
and not a lot of help, I would say, also amongst
100%. That Detroit defensive line is boo boo.
Yeah, that's secondary. The linebackers not that much better either.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to when they're healthy, they're good. It's just they're not healthy.
Rodriguez is good.
Yeah, Rodriguez
like that, Ken.
Then obviously got Branch behind the scenes. Branch and who?
Branch, yeah.
Kirby.
Kirby.
You know, they're hurt. Yeah.
Man, we got one that might be.
She been pulling the names out of the hat today because she's been getting a lot of these names that we were missing and forgetting. Kenya's been pulling them out, so thank you for that. Danielle Hunter. First off, I love his name. I've always loved this name. It's Danielle. And people, when I tell people like I'm not, could I like say Danielle, right? Like Danielle Gafford for the Mavs for reference. Like, why are you saying Danielle? Well, because I get it mixed up with actual Danielle. It is not Daniel. It's not Danielle.
Not even close.
It's Danielle. Danielle Hunter is his name. Phenomenal name. I love him. I love them with the Vikings, D-Mac. I have no idea why people just let him just walk to the Texans. And then he got a great extension to.
No sense to me whatsoever why he was not heavily coveted during that free agency period. I did not understand it one bit. And obviously now they've paid him as they should for the value that he brings. But
1 year,
excellent pickup.
40 million. It was like 1 year, 40
And by the way, just to be clear, I'm body watching right now. In terms of just football players, him and Myles Garrett might have the best football bodies in the sport. If you've seen,
that's what it takes to be a top level edge rusher at 30 plus.
Brother, he is. I'm talking about no body fat though. He is like,
What you know?
What did Cam say?
I found out he was Jamaican, I knew it. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Once I found out he was Jamaican, I knew it wasn't no Danielle. You can't play with them Jamaicans like that. Them boys are not batty boys. Come on now.
But that's also what I'm saying too. To D-Mac's point, he was like 29 when he was a free agent, and nobody wanted him. I'm like, why? He was elite with the Vikings. They had multiple people on the front line, but I thought he was the best of the group. Was a great sacker. He's like a Robert Quinn, but better. If that makes sense for people. Like
7'6",
he's what?
Like 6'7", 6'8".
Nah, he's 31 years old now. Let's see.
Like he's tall as hell though. He's taller than Will Anderson.
Second behind in the NFL in sacks behind
he's
clear.
legit 6'5". Like he's like,
yeah, that's massive, dog. That's a big human being, dog. Yeah, I mean for real. Like he's one of my favorite players to watch put his hand in the dirt because it looks like he's about to be like a F-150, and he's about to fly off the line. And so he's one of my favorite players in the sport, dog. No idea how the Texans got him. No idea.
TJ Watt dropped so far.
Yeah, Chad Greenway, shout out to him too. That was another great player. TJ Watt's number 7.
It's fine.
He's 31 years old now. It's crazy.
And I think that, funny enough, as we just talked about it's not to say that TJ Watt isn't this, because he is a very athletic specimen, but I think that you're seeing some of the, hey, you're a little bit more of the long, lanky type and not necessarily have the elite strength of like your brother did. So maybe the sustained level of success is not necessarily happening as well as we get up there in age, because he's still a dominant player where he can just pin his ears back and get after the passer. But there is the aspect of being able to defend the run down to down that is going to, you lose a little bit as the years start piling up. And
but to be fair, they did mention Herbig and Highsmith being there. That does help him because they're both really good.
Absolutely. They built out a really nice edge room for them, for sure.
Yeah, they might have the best 3 triple set of triplets pass rushers in the league. Maybe
we'll see this year because Mike Tomlin ain't there.
Yeah, sure. That's right.
Sorry, but I don't want to go back, but really quickly, because I was trying to make sure we signed Mike Dana for $8 million. It was 3 years, 24, and Drew Tranquil for I think an extra $12 million.
I do remember that.
We could have had Daniil Hunter for that money.
Yeah,
God, I was so upset.
I was so upset. Again, doesn't make sense why he was available. It's just
don't understand.
Film. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Nick Bosa's at 8. This is just the ACL. If he's healthy, he's probably like 3.
He's higher. Yeah,
he's probably higher. 3. Yeah. As much as people don't like him off the field because of some other stuff,
But I think this is also another example of, hey, this is similar to the quarterback position, and it's not a surprise because, in my opinion, the most valuable non-quarterback position in the National Football League. But we got a heck of a lot of really good edge rushers in the National Football League today.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Bosa might legitimately might be 3, y'all. You want to talk about a mix of athleticism, power, and just mobility and
motor.
Yeah,
motor
he's
relentless.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, shout out to him. He's somehow better than his brother, and his brother was really good. So, Brian Burns, I don't know how he made 9 right here, but he's really good.
This was the one where I think that a lot of people looked at the sack numbers and put him here. He would not be in my top 10. And don't get me wrong, he had himself a nice season, but he wasn't even the best edge rusher on this team, in my personal opinion. I think Abdul Carter, his rookie season, was better than Brian Burns. And it's not to say that he's a bad player. He is a good player, but there are other guys that were honorable mentions that I would have had in the slot above him.
And then Nick Benito was at 10. Whatever. I don't really.
Knows how you really feel, Swiper.
It's fine. He was 5th in DPOY last year and didn't make All Pro because of the voting nonsense. He was 5th in DPOY for a reason. He's a terrific player. He has the same. Yeah, he was on pace for 25 sacks at one point until the Broncos kind of fell apart in the interior and all that stuff. So great player, but Jared Verse, honorable mention. Trey Henderson, honorable mention. Josh Hines Allen, another one.
He is easily top 10 for me. I think that he is very underrated for what that Jacksonville defense is. Every time I watch him, I'm just because of the way that he came on the scene is more of the speed rusher off the edge because they're playing a little bit more of those multiple fronts. People have a certain mind of him, but it almost plays like Micah Parsons light in that the strength that he generates.
Look at this, not elite, but consistently very good.
Yeah, like
but if you're very good every play, I would rather have that.
He's so good. So he would be on this list for me personally, because I think in that Brian Burns spot, because I just think he's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Brian though for making the list. Probably do one more here, and then we'll finish this next week as well. This is the one I was like. Now this is the one in terms of gripes. Is D tackle. So to get through this, y'all, they had the number 1 D tackle last year, Leonard Williams, and I was
shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out the exact word to say here. Like, this is USC Jets all over it. This is what he's supposed to be. Last year, he's never cracked the top 5 on any of these lists. He had 7 sacks last year and a 38% run stop win rate, and he was a second team All-Pro player. Second team All-Pro with 7 sacks, when I think the 2 first team All-Pro players are clearly better than him.
Yeah,
which is Jeffrey Simmons and Zach Allen.
I think Leonard, because of what the Seattle Seahawks defense was by the end of the year, that's why he is here. But to me, at least, they had obviously Lawrence. They obviously had Mafe. They had
you're talking about on the line,
on the defensive line specifically. The thing that unlocked that rotation was Byron Murphy being able to play the nose while being as disruptive as he is. And he's the guy that I think is going to be the guy that shoots up this list in years to come, because I think he is a special talent. And I felt that way. And when I watched him on tape, he was the guy that's unlocking everything else for these other guys to be able to do. It's not to say Leonard Williams also still a very good player, but for him to be number 1 is
that's insane. Like he is not better. He's not better than this dude. Not at all.
Simmons would be one for me.
This is like the most disruptive D tackle we've had since all around since maybe Aaron Donald. Like, he's ridiculous. And he's huge. He's huge. He's fast. He's quick. He's strong. And he's violent. What else do you want? Again, this is also, he plays for the Titans. This is the Denzel Ward Titans.
Yeah.
Now they got John Franklin Myers now. So guess what? You're screwed. Because now they got 2 monsters in the middle of the floor. Like, they're gonna be like terrific in their front line. Y'all, he had 11 sacks last year, by the way, and a 16% pass rush win rate, despite facing double teams 65% of the time. How is he not number 1?
Not a lot of help. He's awesome.
How is he not number 1?
He would be for me.
And he was first team All-Pro.
And that's tough for me to say.
Why?
Because I got Chris Jones.
Okay. All right, sure. Jalen Carter.
Who? Again,
Eagles.
I'm willing to say is Eagles tax, because he was just so up and down last year. The flashes are there, obviously, of what we had seen in years prior. I think that he can get back to a more consistent level. It's just,
several evaluators argued, however, not every snap, meaning you didn't feel him out there consistently. You didn't do every snap. A few voters said he's not the best defensive line on his own team, opting for Jordan Davis, and I would also agree.
It's just he was just too up and down and inconsistent for me to put him this high.
Brother,
the flashes are great, but it's just
2 of the top 3 are egregious to me, given the talent that there is in the D tackle position in the NFL, y'all. And then number 4, Chris Jones, which I also thought was a little bit of like legacy boost. I think he was really good last year. But I know D-Mac, he felt like he was on his own, but he also had some of the worst plays of the NFL season of any player.
Well, I mean, I understand.
Not just the Jacksonville game and not just the Charger game either. Like, he has some of the worst plays, including versus Denver. Versus Denver.
This is
multiple games.
The Chargers play isn't on him. The Chargers play is on the edge that bailed.
No, he was the edge. He lost containment.
But this is the thing. When you
No, Demon, let's not do it.
Okay,
just for the sake of time.
We can break down that play a different time.
Sure, another day. But what I'm saying is he had a lot of bad plays last year and a lot of lows.
This is the understanding.
No.
Because it's important. Because I think when you talk about football, you have to talk about it in the context of what we're working with. The same way that I did it with Jeffrey Simmons not having a lot of help.
I agree.
I did talking about Leonard Williams.
He didn't have a lot of help.
The Seattle Seahawks too. Chris Jones and what he brings to the table is excellent. But when you don't have any type of run stuffing next to you,
okay,
you have
brother.
to do that.
He himself had a lot of mental breakdowns though, and a lot of low.
But this is again, you have
he didn't
have an edge rush.
We're not going to excuse this for any other player. You haven't heard.
But no. But this is the thing. But this is why I said this. He wouldn't be above Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons to me is a guy.
No, I'm not talking about Jeffrey. There's players below.
No, but I'm saying just in general because this is one second. Allow me to finish my statement, and then we get back to this. The point is this. Outside of Jeffrey Simmons, there is nobody up there that you could say defended the run at an extremely high level and was the alpha level pass rusher for their defense. Nobody else on this list can say this. I can say
that very actually easily.
Who?
Zach Allen.
No, you would say Benito was the guy that was the alpha level pass.
No, Zach Allen was the best defensive player not named Patrick Surtain on the defense last year.
No, but this is those are two different things. I'm saying who was the best pass rusher on the team.
Well, let's get to the list real quick.
No, don't answer the question because we're talking about
Zach was the most dominant player of the NFL. He was the most dominant player getting to the quarterback on quarterback hurries, pressures, of any player in the NFL last year.
He was a better pass rusher than Nick Bonito.
Yeah, but yes, he was on the totality of the season, including in the playoffs. And I said that Bonito, as the season went on, lost some steam. He was really good in the Bills game, but Zach was great from start to finish the entire year. Like he didn't have bad games. I think that's
we haven't had this conversation, so
we haven't. Benito didn't.
But I would even if you really want to say Zach Allen, I could still understand because then I think Zach Allen had an excellent year, so I can understand that argument. But these are what the responsibilities of these defensive tackles are concerned. We're talking about you don't have an edge rush, so you have to take on all of that responsibility. You don't have a real run stuffer next to you as far as the interior of the defensive line is concerned, so you take on that responsibility. But there are going to be plays in which it looks bad.
No, brother, no. You don't get to do that.
There absolutely are, yes.
But there's no other player. He had the worst of all these players. The lowest moments.
No, that's not true. Jalen Carter had worse moments than Chris Jones.
Okay, spitting on someone.
No, I'm not talking about the spitting. I'm just talking about down to down because of the inconsistencies.
Derek Brown
Jalen Carter's taking entire drives off.
Sure, Derek Brown is number 5. I think Derek Brown is number 5. All right, okay. Move on. Derek Brown is number 5.
You're gonna have to allow me to finish this up. I'm just saying because these guys have other defensive tackle rotations that they can rely upon. It's different. Chris Jones is holding
D-Mac, you're excusing mental errors.
No, because all these other guys have these issues too. These guys are taking those plays off, taking drives off at a time. Chris Jones never had that luxury. That's all I'm saying.
But you don't get to excuse goal line lows. What are you talking about? You don't get to excuse missing your assignment. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is the thing. I'm not using the Jacksonville Jaguars play because that's fair. I'm not excusing some of these plays in which, he didn't give his 110%. I'm not excusing that. But you have to understand and put it in the context.
No,
where other defensive tackles,
that's what I'm talking about.
Where other defensive tackles are on the bench on the sideline because their defenses can operate without them. We don't have that luxury. It's got to be.
What's that got to do with your effort?
Entire defense is gone.
Matt Crosby doesn't have that either. He doesn't have those moments.
But I'm not comparing him to the edge rushers. I'm comparing him to defensive tackles.
Derek Brown doesn't have those moments either.
Yes, he does. They went out and got Tershawn Wharton for that reason.
No, I think what you're saying.
What do you mean?
I think what you're running into though is that hold on, D-Mac, hold on, D-Mac. Okay, cool, D-Mac, fine, shush. That's fine. But the issue, but you've been talking last 5 minutes. I'm saying cool, that's fine. You're right, but what I'm saying is Derek Brown was just better than him last year. Quentin Williams, I think is too high. Fine. Dexter Lawrence, I think was better than him last year. Cool, whatever.
Dexter Lawrence was not better than him last year.
Zach Allen in the last 2 years.
I'm fine with Zach Allen.
I'm saying, but in the last 2 years, dog, he's been the preeminent pass rusher and doesn't have low moments.
I'm fine with Zach Allen. I don't.
So I'm saying I don't think Chris should be that high.
There are two guys that I can do the argument for: Jeffrey Simmons, who I have at number one, Zach Allen. I completely understand.
And then I think Derek Brown was also better. But again, whatever. If you disagree, you disagree.
But we're talking about you got Bobby Brown next to him. You went out and got Tershawn Wharton, so that rotation looks a lot better than what you have to deal with as far as the rest of the room. Those things do matter when you can take entire drives off.
I hear you, and I appreciate the input. But you still have loafs are on you, brother. Like I don't know to tell you, as a football player, loafs are on you.
I don't have any issues with saying that that's on him, but you also have to put it into the context of him not having the luxury that some of these other defensive tackles do.
Don't walk to the ball. I don't know. I don't tell you. Don't. Hey,
when you're not playing these level of snaps,
D-Mac, I didn't play with elite talent. You don't walk to the ball. What is that? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Chris Jones. You're not Chris Jones.
Wow, you don't get to walk to the ball. What are you talking about?
You're Chris Jones.
How would Kenya? Am I speaking Spanish? Don't walk to the ball.
Because he's not Chris Jones. Doesn't mean he's not going to
walk to the ball. Don't walk to the ball.
Again, it's different if you're the responsibility.
No, it's not.
Not different.
It 100% is. I understand that we like to put these things in an isolation box as far as that is concerned, but that's not the reality. It's in the context of what you're doing for the team.
What does that got to do with walking to the ball, though? Like, that happens.
Because when you're playing these snaps that other defensive tackles aren't asked to, that is a different thing. That is a different level of responsibility.
Your responsibility is to not walk to the ball.
Yeah, that's great when you're playing lesser snaps than these other guys. Yes, absolutely.
Well, if you're on the field, just do your job.
Okay, well, that would be great if his job wasn't do everything for the entire defensive line.
Well, that just excuses him taking the side.
Hey, that's fine if you want to say his excuses. I'm just saying, I'm telling you what I watched. These other guys, hey, Dexter Lawrence can rely upon Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau get after the passer. That's a fact. Who's Chris Jones relying on to get to the passer?
Himself. That's his job.
No, I think this is all just yapping. Like I've never in my life ever in my life ever heard excuses from coaches, players, or fans about any of this. You have a job to do. Don't walk to the ball.
I don't know how you haven't learned this about me, Swipe, but I don't care what you may have heard, what you may not have heard from other people, but I'm just telling you what I'm watching. These guys and the ability to actually play these level of snaps and be responsible for it, that it's a different level of responsibility. And if you don't recognize that in the context of a team, then I think it's impossible to talk about football in a team aspect.
Yeah, respectfully, but still, like, I don't know. It's just,
and then again,
sure.
I'm not excusing these things as far
you
as
are.
They were.
Kenny, this is excusing.
They're not listening to me. I'm saying
we've been listening to the last 10 minutes.
I'm saying you can knock him for the aspects of there were plays that he took off, but in the context of we're ranking these players, when these guys get to sit on the bench and still have a functioning defense where he can't have that because the responsibility of the entirety of the defensive line is on his shoulders, that is a context that is worth mentioning as far as why these things do happen. I'm not saying when he broke him for
you're saying when he broke containment on the Chargers game, that was because he was doing too much and not doing his job.
Well, if that specific Chargers play that you're talking about, the responsibilities that the inside guys had on that play,
he wasn't inside, he was the edge.
No. The inside guys, Chris Jones is on the edge. Chris Jones is supposed to have a two-way go in that standpoint. The inside guy is like, hey, you have.
They're supposed to do a loop.
That's why they put him out there.
They're supposed to run a twist.
Okay, let me take this back. Swiper, do you remember in the AFC Championship game in 2022 what ended that game for the Bengals offense?
No, go ahead.
It was Chris Jones off the edge, because when we get down to these end of the game moments, Steve Spagnuolo says, because we don't have anybody else to create a mismatch, you go out and pick out the best mismatch that we have. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have everybody else try and have contain as far as that's concerned. Guess what the inside guy that was an edge that moved inside did? He didn't have contain. That was his responsibility. Chris Jones is the guy that.
Brother, I'm looking at this play right now.
The other guys make sure that they can.
I'm looking at this play right now. Okay.
I wish you gave me the login so I could just put the play on the screen. So
no, I'm looking at the play as we speak.
No, I'm saying so the audience.
No, sure. Kenya, this is the play.
This is so bad.
This is a 4-man pressure.
Yes.
Okay.
You see where Mike Daniels lined up, right?
Yes, I see that. So you're saying
Why is he on the outside? Why is he on the guard's outside shoulder?
So you're saying the call was, we're running a twist here.
No, I didn't say anything about a twist. Did not mention
no. So, brother, just from a play standpoint.
But I'm telling you, I didn't say anything about a twist.
Okay, that's fine. But the only reason we would do a Chris Jones, you're going to slant inside off the shoulder of the guard, which is the 3 technique here. Well, no, I'm saying he made a choice to go inside.
Yes, he has a 2-way go.
No, brother, you can't have a 2-way go.
But this is okay.
No, D-Mac, just
you don't understand what the responsibility is.
Real quick.
You don't understand what the responsibility is.
D-Mac, I'm trying to explain it. I'm trying to explain it to the people in the audience.
You're not going to be able to explain it.
No, that's fine. That's cool. I'll still explain it. Cool. Hush.
Go ahead.
The issue is that it typically, maybe this is not the Chiefs. In every other situation that I've seen when it comes to when you have a 4-down set, if you have a defensive end that has first off a 2-way go, and there's no outside contain, that makes no sense. Number one, typically
it doesn't make sense because the guy has to have the outside contain on the inside.
Who has to? So what? How would a D tackle have outside contain?
So roll it back to the start. There's a reason why Dana is out on the outside shoulder of that guard, because he has to. I have to make sure. Hey, this guy can't get outside of me. That is my responsibility. We have our pass rusher that we know is going to be able to create the one-on-one.
So what is the call? What's the front call?
Got to be able to win. We've done this time and time again. We say, hey, look, Steve Spagnuolo is like, we're going to send our 4-man out there. Chris Jones, you pick out that mismatch. Who's ever next to Chris Jones, you line up to the outside of that guard shoulder. You make sure he can't get outside as a result of it. We're going to play contain with these other guys. Everybody else do your job so that Chris Jones, creating the pressure, is able to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Mike Dana decides to slant inside, gives up the complete outside if Chris Jones decides to win inside, and then all of a sudden everything is open to Justin Herbert on the outside. This is something I've watched.
He's already inside.
Swiper. I've watched this time again for the way that we've set up our 4-man pass rush in these moments that we need to close out games, because Chris Jones is the only one that we can win a one-on-one pass rush rep with. That's the reality.
No, okay, but Demon, I'm asking the question though.
So as a result of that, what would the defensive tackle to Chris Jones' side has to be able to create the inside contain if Chris Jones comes inside. Mike Dana isn't beating that.
I've never seen typically with a front 4. Cool, D-Mac, hold on. I'll let you finish.
Typically,
when you're in a situation where you're running again, the reason I said a twist is because typically, if you know you're going to have somebody that's going to go inside, you have to then communicate that to the rest of the defensive line. So what I'm saying is, if there's no pre-call, and unless you're telling me that like coach is telling Jones alone, you have a 2-way go, Dana, you play off that 2-way go. But the issue is he is already engaged with the blocker. So how is he supposed to know, blinded, that he's made this move inside? And then on top of that, by the time he makes his move inside, 51, Dan in the situation is already out leveraged by Justin Herbert. So this wouldn't make sense.
Because he did the wrong thing. That's the point. Again, Swiper, you're talking about typically across all type of defensive coordinators, different defensive calls. It's perfectly fine. I'm telling you as somebody that has watched literally 6 years of this Chiefs tape down in, down out. When we get to these situations, Chris Jones picks out the one-on-one matchup he wants. Sometimes that's, hey, we're going to line up 3 guys to one side. We're going to create a mismatch with the center. We're going to walk the linebacker up over that A gap so that way we create the mismatch with the center. Sometimes as Chris Jones, you're going to be a traditional 3-tech aspect. We're going to line you up right there. That's what we're going to go off of. Sometimes as Chris Jones, you're going to go after the tackle. As a result of that, the defensive line adjusts off of that. The reality of what we call for those 4-down moments is if Chris Jones is lined up on a tackle, guess what the defensive tackle's responsibility to that side is? You line up to the outside of the guard, and you make sure if Chris Jones is lining up outside, you have to create leverage on that quarterback to make sure he doesn't get outside. That is your responsibility as a defensive tackle in that moment. The same way that there are different adjustments based on where Chris Jones aligns for the rest of the defensive line. I understand that you're saying just based on football in general, why it may not make sense and why you initially jump to, hey, if you're running a twist, then X, Y, Z means. But that's not the reality of how Chris Jones, in the standpoint of Steve Spagnuolo's 4-down front defense, has been called. That's not how we run things here. So everybody has responsibilities to make sure that Chris Jones' ability to create those wins. I'll let you finish, right? But allow me to finish.
I have to ask a question in between your tangent for the audience. So if Chris Jones has the ability to make a decision to go 2-way,
Yes.
It's 3rd and 14 in man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
What benefit does it when you're outside contained in the boundary does it do to the defense for you to go inside on man-to-man coverage in the boundary as the outside rusher?
Because the aspect of saying, hey, we're playing man-to-man. We're not necessarily playing zone. We're going to rally and tackle, so we don't necessarily need immediate pressure. We're in man-to-man here. We need to make sure that within 3 seconds, we have pressure on the quarterback to affect the pocket. Chris Jones is creating that one-on-one mismatch so that he can create that pressure. Everybody else is going to rush contain from that standpoint. That is the point of playing man-to-man on that 3rd long, is saying, hey, within 3 seconds, Chris Jones is going to beat whatever the worst matchup that we have out there. He's going to affect the quarterback. Everybody else is going to contain, rush, make sure we squeeze the quarterback, and then we can get off the field as far as that's concerned, or force a tight window throw in that man-to-man coverage. That's the aspect. Steve Spagnuolo and how he runs his man-to-man coverage. That's how we're going to get up. We're going to, obviously, as you see, everybody's going to be in man-to-man press across the board here. We need to create pressure within 3 seconds. Chris Jones is going to win that best matchup. The defensive tackle to his side has to have leverage on the inside to force Justin Herbert back in to help. Guess what Mike Dana does at the snap? He slants inside. That is Mike Dana's responsibility that he failed to do on that play instead of keeping outside leverage with Justin Herbert. And I understand your point, because across other defensive coordinators, across other defensive schemes, across other defensive play calls, you are right. That's not necessarily something that is very traditional as far as a 4-man pass rush is concerned.
But you're saying
I'm telling you, as somebody that has continued to watch it, that is what the responsibility
I hear you,
is.
but like you're saying he slants inside. I'm saying it looks like he got wrapped in a 6'8" guard, which is, again, this is why this would be so. If I need to move off of Chris Jones, D-Mac, and say this is a Spagnuolo problem, this was a
no, I didn't say it was a Spagnuolo problem. I didn't say it was Spagnuolo. You can't just lie about things.
I'm saying if this is a Spags call,
I didn't say it was Spagnuolo. Say that.
No. I'm saying Spags is the DC though. So like if
but I'm saying I didn't say it was a Spagnuolo problem.
But I'm about to make a point separate from you. So hush. I'm saying if Spags gave Chris Jones, if Spags gave Chris Jones the ability to do this, which he would have to give him permission to do this,
because he's done this the last half
decade. I'm saying
decade,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, D-Mac. That's a horrific, dumb, bad call if you're playing man-to-man in the boundary versus a mobile quarterback.
I know
because we don't have. I know, but just 2 seconds though. Stay off of Chris Jones. I'm saying in general, yes. For NFL, for people that are watching this play high school sports or you play college, this is a horrible, horrific call. If D-Mac is correct, which I don't know if he's correct, I'm still leaning on the fact that Chris Jones cheated inside. But if D-Mac is correct, Spagnuolo giving your outside contain an option to go inside on a short field in man-to-man coverage versus a mobile quarterback is a dumb decision. So I'm saying let's get this off of Chris Jones's feet. If this is Spags' call, Spags made one of the worst calls of the NFL season because this obviously cost him the game. It's unnecessary for what the situation is.
So let me respond to that point. Because our defensive line talent, as far as the room is concerned, has continued to go downhill, that's the reason why this call has to happen. Secondarily, when you think about the way Spagnuolo runs his defense, this is what he's always done. And I've had a lot of, I would say, disagreements with the way in which Spagnuolo has done some things recently, especially when it comes to last year, Shamari Conner slot, et cetera, et cetera. But when you're talking about what's wrong with this call, the call is fine. It's worked in the past in multiple different settings against multiple different quarterbacks. Specifically early in this game, we tried to have Chris Jones on the inside. They double teamed him. Nobody else was able to win. Justin Herbert had 3, 4, 5 seconds to find guys down the field against the man coverage. That's why we got burned and burned again. So in this situation, Steve Spagnuolo is like, look, we got to create pressure on Justin Herbert. That's the only way that this is going to end up change from what happened earlier in the game. Mike Dana has a responsibility of what we've always run. If you're going to be the guy, because Mike Dana has often slid inside in these moments, if you're going to be the guy next to Chris Jones, you know you have to play off of whatever his go is. If he's going inside, you got to make sure you maintain outside leverage on Justin Herbert from that aspect too. If he goes high, then you have to make sure that you can shut down the B gap escape hatch for Justin Herbert as far as that is concerned too. He knows that is a responsibility. Him in that moment, he did the wrong thing, and that's okay. It happens. And again, this is just one specific play. I'm not excusing the other things as far as plays that Chris Jones took off, because he absolutely did. And you can knock him for that. I have no issues with that. I don't have anything for you as far as the Jacksonville play was concerned. He took that play off and it looked horrible and it may have cost us the game. I've got no problem with knocking.
He did it versus Denver in the red zone too.
But this specific, I'd like to see which play, because I don't remember off the top of my head. So we can have a conversation about that play. But this specific play, as far as the Chargers game is concerned, that's on Mike Dana, based on what we run for Steve Spagnuolo for.
I mean, at the end of the play,
to be on this team,
he looks back at Chris Jones and kind of like gives him like a "What are you doing?" So maybe you're right.
Chris Jones was yelling at Mike Dana at the end of the play too, because he's like, "You're supposed to be out there if I'm going in."
Yeah, I think that's a bad. I'm saying.
That's what I hear. They both did something wrong.
No, Chris Jones did his job. Chris Jones' job in that moment is you need to win your one-on-one and you get pressure on Justin Herbert. That is his responsibility. That's the reason why he's even out there on the edge. You go pick out your best matchup, go win the one-on-one and get pressure on Justin Herbert. That's his responsibility. He did his job. Mike Dana didn't.
I've never seen this before. So again, maybe this is a Spags thing. Maybe this is
a
Spags thing.
Why Mike Dana would have to go all the way out there?
Because
it's not a twist. Because
he's told to do so, Kenya. I don't know what to tell you. That's what his responsibility is. It's always been the
Justin Herbert a lane to go through. Because it still gives Justin Herbert a lane to go through if he were to have moved out there.
But he's supposed to maintain outside leverage to make sure the quarterback has to go back inside to help. That is his responsibility as a defensive tackle next to Chris Jones in that moment, because Chris Jones has a two-way go, because he's the only one that can win on one-on-one on our defensive line.
It doesn't make any sense if you're Spags. Because if you're Spags, then to me, it's like, well, then just keep contained. Like, you don't have to get
but Swiper, if you watch the entire game, that's what we did. We kept containing the entirety of the game for Justin Herbert. He sat back there for 4 or 5 seconds and picked apart our man coverage.
Sure, I know, but it was 3rd and 14.
You remember all of the touchdown to Quinn Johnston.
Yeah, I remember.
Plays to Lad McConkey that were chunk plays. 4 or 5 seconds because nobody else was winning on the defensive line, and they were double teaming Chris Jones on the inside. That's the reality. So we tried to play contain the entirety of the game. Guess what happened? They picked us apart. Now we're like, all right, pick out your best matchup. We got to get pressure on him and hope we can get off the field.
I mean, I'm watching that same play that you're talking about, the Quentin Johnson play. I'm looking Chris Jones on single coverage get absolutely walled. So he didn't do anything on that play. So
no, you got him in that play.
Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't have 100% pass rush rate. Nobody else does. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. Zach Allen has the highest in the league. So, but
it's not 100% though. You can put all these fucking.
It's the highest. It's the highest in the league. And he got the most pressures of any tackles than Aaron Donald.
There are plays that he still loses. Not everybody wins every play.
See, Kenya, the D-back's gonna be insufferable in the season because he's gonna make every excuse for.
I don't know why, and this is I have no issues
Patrick Mahomes possible
criticizing
and Chris Jones,
really
and then on top of this, I'm hold on, and then on top of that,
you can't just mute my mic when you want to. If you're gonna tell me something about the team that I disagree with, I'm not just gonna let it slide.
But I'm saying, then Spags,
that makes sense.
Then I'm blaming Spags. If it's not Chris Jones, I'm blaming Spags. I don't think it's a good call.
You can blame Spags. Again, I had a lot of issues with Spags throughout this season as far as that's concerned, but I also understand why we ended up in the circumstance in which Spags called that. So
Broncos Chiefs games are not going to make for good streams because D-Mac absolutely walked his way all the way back after week 12 last year, back where he belongs.
I really didn't have any issues with it. Like, legitimately, I went into that game and said, hey, if they're the team that I say that I think they have been over the last few years, then this is the game that they're going to win. And guess what they didn't do? Win. So I was like, all right, well, I guess they're not.
And then I forgot Mahomes threw that interception to Jaquan in the red zone when it was 6-6, and D-Mac was like, I mean, he played pretty well that game. Bo Nix barely outplayed him.
I think he played fine that game.
So
if you throw an interception, you can't have a fine.
Kenya, I'm glad you're here to witness this. This is what I've been seeing for years, by the way. The same thing you're watching.
Yeah, the years in which we've been kicking y'all asses and y'all have a one.
See, Kenya? See, Kenya? See that?
That is, absolutely.
Yes.
Backwards.
Because if you want to talk shit, we can always talk shit.
Going backwards.
That's never going to change.
Look at this, going backwards.
We kicked y'all asses for years. Got more Super Bowls than y'all.
Going backwards.
More AFC West titles than y'all. That's a fact. You know that's true.
Going backwards. You have 2 Super Bowls. You have 3 Super Bowls.
We got 4 Super Bowls.
You know you have a segregation Super Bowl doesn't count. A segregation one doesn't count. Segregation doesn't count. Could we drink from water? Could we drink from the same water? Could we drink from the same water fountains when you won that one?
4 of them things.
We used to backwards.
Yeah, because the internet wasn't around.
4 of them things.
Could you drink out of the same water fountain?
I wish you the best to try to get that fourth because that ain't happening.
D-Mac, answer the question. Could we drink from the same water fountain when they won that one across the country?
I don't know.
Now D-Mac's MAGA.
I don't know.
Now he's MAGA.
You don't know.
Hey, I don't know about that.
All right, y'all. This has been a great episode of the Press Box. I'm glad D-Mac is everybody's seeing him for what he is. Great fan.
A Chiefs fan.
Great analyst. Shout out. Kenya was great today. Bama was great today. D-Mac was mostly really good today. Great show. We'll be back here next Sunday to finish up a lot of this list. And then we're literally a couple weeks away from training camp. And then D-Mac with the top 4 quarterback, top 4 D tackle, top 3 offensive line. They come in third in the AFC West again. And we're gonna be like, oh wow, what happened?
It'd be nice if we had a wide receiver worth a damn.
Oh wait, your receiving core is great. Per your words.
I never said the receiver.
Per your words, going into week 12.
I never said that. You had never heard those words come out of my mouth. Peace out, y'all.